Planet of Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Liberty Den. Tonight I'm joined by Ash and Jatriot, and maybe CanCon, and Alpha didn't respond, and lots of other people didn't respond, so we'll see who else. But how are you guys doing?
Good.
I'm doing fantastic, man. My Dodgers won the World Series on Wednesday.
Oh, fuck the Dodgers.
I mean, look, Donald Trump promised me personally that I would get tired of winning. I'd be winning so much. And my winning started on Wednesday, and it's going to extend right through next week. So
my winning started in July.
Yes. Are you tired yet of winning, Ash? I'm not.
I'm ready to win on Tuesday.
I'm tired. I'm just tired generally. I took 2 naps today, and it's the first time I've napped in like forever. And it's
dude. Did you see the light, man? Napping's the best.
Napping is awesome. You can probably tell I have this like super like sexy sultry voice. I'm probably a little more nasally tonight because it's that cold, but at least I'm not like a runny nose. That's the worst to me. Like I can get through any illness, but the runny nose drives me nuts. But that's gone. Dude, so
your sultry voice is like a tranquilizer dart to me, man. Sometimes watching Devolution Power Hour and it's just so sultry and relaxing. I just conk right out, man.
Just put you to sleep. It's what I'm here for. Oh, CanCon is here. What the hell?
Yay.
What's up, man?
I told you I'd be here.
He's wearing green. Jatriot.
Damn, I gotta go find a green jacket, man. I gotta go find a green jacket.
I almost put on my black Badlands hoodie too, and I was like, I can't find it, so I'm going with this.
Nice. Well,
even though I was wearing it like half an hour ago.
Well, we got lots to talk about tonight. Lots going on. Left freaking out, doing some weird shit as always. Liz Cheney shit. What else?
I love that story. It's one of my favorites.
Could be the last Liberty Den ever.
Why?
Because if Kamala somehow wins, there's no more liberty. It's just the
if you see
Den.
Did you see JD Vance is going to be president for 30 years and we used to have the best parties.
We're gonna watch that video too. We used to have the best parties.
No, come on.
That video is insane.
Used to, man.
I do think the fix is in though, guys. Like I'm all about the Trump's gonna win, lollipops, rainbows, everything's fine. And I do think he's gonna get more legal votes, but to me, the fix is in, and we'll talk about that too, because we have our 2 election experts on, and CanCon's here too. So
I was about to say, I didn't know Gentry was an election expert.
Dude, I'm not an election expert, but I am the lollipops and rainbows guy. So I want to be keeping our spirits up a little bit.
I was kind of hoping the rainbows would tone down when Trump got elected. Maybe not.
We're taking the rainbows back, man. They've stolen all our symbols.
Yeah, unicorns, everything. We're getting it all back. Before we do any of that, we got to get a quick word from our sponsor. So let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin, which is going to the moon lately. Mm-hmm. Are you ready to diversify your assets with Bitcoin? Introducing River, the official Bitcoin partner of Badlands Media, where you can navigate the world of Bitcoin with confidence. With River, you can buy Bitcoin like a pro. With the assurance of being licensed and regulated right here in the United States, River ensures your Bitcoin journey is smooth and secure with on-demand live support at your fingertips. River empowers you to grow your portfolio without any unwanted surprises and eliminates third-party custodians, putting you in control of your assets. Open an account with no minimum purchase requirement. You can get your Bitcoin journey started with just $10. Visit badlandsmedia.tv/river to create your River account today. That's badlandsmedia.tv/river. River, shaping the future of finance. 1 Bitcoin at a time. They should change that to 1 Satoshi at a time. So 1 Bitcoin at a time. But anyway, let's also talk about our new merch line, and then we'll talk about Liz Cheney.
Hey there, Badlanders. Do you love Badlands as much as you hate communism? Do you want patriotic apparel that's not made in China, but also won't make you look like a dork? Well, then we've got just the thing for you. Introducing an entirely new line of official Badlands gear made in partnership with the culture warriors at Rise Attire and Rise INTL. With 4 brand new collections of original artwork across a wide range of products to choose from. Spread the signal with deep-cut symbols from Devolution lore to the ghosts in the machine on the front lines of the Psy War. Wrap yourself in America the Beautiful with the warm tones and textures of Badlands National Park. To the eye of the storm in Mount Rushmore. This is premium quality streetwear, custom made to order from scratch just for you by the Patriots at our East Peoria, Illinois facility. Don't wait. Explore the entire store and order your new gear today at badlandsmedia.tv/rise. Represent Badlands boldly and proudly. This culture war ain't gonna win itself.
It was a great ad.
That's a great ad. And some great
Great
merch, too.
stuff, man. I just saw my friend Rosalinda was wearing her Cyborg sweatshirt. Dude, it's sweet.
Did she get the one with the glitch?
No, she didn't get the glitch one, but
Okay.
I'm kind of interested in the glitch one. How's that look?
I haven't seen it in person yet. I keep forgetting to order, and then I'm like, well, I'm just going to get it at Myrtle Beach. So
Are they going to be there? Are they going to have them?
they're going to be there. We're going to have some merch there.
Okay, I will get it then too. It's coming up very
Is
quickly.
the best timing for this
I
guard.
know,
I'm
like-
psyched.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
So exciting. And it's going to be packed house, and you guys got to get your virtual tickets. I'm thinking about maybe doing an exclusive ticket holder stream Sunday. Talk about election stuff, and then maybe doing one right after to talk about election stuff, and then Myrtle Beach. We'll see. But do you guys want to talk Liz Cheney first, or you want to talk about that commercial first? Let's do
Has
the
everybody seen the video of what happens if Trump wins?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay.
This is so good.
We weren't always like this. We had a beautiful life. The best parties,
Freak out party.
beautiful friends. We thought it was just another election. So a lot of us didn't vote. Why bother? Everyone knew the system was rigged. Many of us even voted for them. I know it sounds crazy now, but we didn't like Democrats back then. We were angry about the vaccine mandates and how they handled the war in Gaza and the way they wanted to censor free speech on the internet.
They want unquestioned obedience.
So what did we end up doing? We voted for the guys who openly said they wanted to imprison dissenters and use the military against their political opponents.
Every talking point makes it in.
We were wrong on that, big time. When Trump got sick and died,
It gets oddly specific.
when he became president. 30 years later, he's still president today. And with the
Looks
Supreme
good with the
Court
salt and
on
pepper.
his side, they gave him dictatorial powers. They took away women's reproductive rights, outlawed contraception, and removed the minimum wage. Then we had repression of dissent, AI surveillance of everything we did or said on a level we couldn't imagine. The government under Vance, Peter Thiel, and Elon Musk set up concentration camps for illegal immigrants.
Yep.
Then legal immigrants, then even homeless people.
Homeless people in
They finally
concentration
admitted
camps.
climate change was real, but it was too late. Florida sank into the Gulf and the West burned, and cities across the country became uninsurable, then uninhabitable. Musk and Thiel poured all of our resources into artificial intelligence so they and their friends could become immortal. I don't know what happened to them, but I know what happened to us.
There's like a couple things that stick out.
Bad.
Insanity, right? They admit though that the left is censoring free speech. You catch that?
Yeah, and the vaccine mandates and everything. Like we
Yeah,
were
it's
mad
like,
about that stuff.
we are-
But boy,
We're
did we
angry
get it
about the
wrong.
vaccine mandates and how they handled the war in Gaza and the way they wanted to censor free speech on the internet. But we voted for the guys who openly wanted to. That's insane. I can't believe they admitted to that. But yeah, funny. And then apparently, Vance is the president of what language is that?
It's called AI can't make words because
You're
they
right.
don't even have enough budget to use the good quality AI that makes words now.
It's insanity, man. So funny.
Brian, I'm
is-
gonna miss you when you sink into the Gulf.
I was about to say they set a timeline for Florida to disappear. So Al Gore, hold your britches because they gave us what they say 30 years.
I hope you guys will still love me when I'm a burn victim and I'm horribly scarred and disfigured.
Well, you can't look much worse than you do now, man. So I think you're safe.
Thank you.
We'll love you
I
more,
never
man.
heard that
Might-
Florida was
might
going to
help.
sink into the Gulf. I always heard that California was going to break off and float off into the.
Oh, no.
Right.
Al
I
Gore
wish they
totally
would.
said that Florida was going to sink.
I
Al Gore 100%
really paying
said
attention.
Florida was going to sink.
100%, huh?
And
Al Gore.
Robinson said that Guam was going to tip over. Was it Hank? What's his name?
Yeah.
He said Guam was going to tip over.
Yes. We should all go to one side and jump.
I wonder if Puerto Rico's going to tip over with all that garbage.
He asked that
How
of an
dare you.
admiral in a congressional hearing, folks.
Yeah, that was real.
Johnson.
Dude did
So
not
good.
know that islands are not floating in the water.
was
Miles.
an island that at its widest level is 12 miles from shore to shore, and at its smallest level or smallest location, it's 7 miles between one shore and the other.
You guys catch all that? You have the mental picture of
Big.
the
It's
size of
big.
the island now because of that.
Feels like it would be wobbly.
I don't have the exact dimensions, but to your point, sir, I think Guam is a small island.
Very small island and about 24 miles, if I recall, long. So 24 miles long, about 7 miles wide at the least widest.
What are those hand motions?
place
They
on the
don't
island
match
and
the
about
speech at
20
all.
What was that?
He sped
This-
it up. He sped it up.
Okay.
Yeah,
His hand motions are weird.
Yeah, I can only listen to so much of him, so I figured
7 miles wide.
Let's get to the point where he says, what happens if we put all the Marines on one side and it tips over?
like I don't know where it says that, so we're just going to listen to the full 2 minutes, but it's in here somewhere.
About 12 miles wide on the widest part of the island. And I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
Yes.
We don't anticipate that. The Guam population, I think, currently about 175,000, and again, with 8,000 Marines and their families, it's an addition of about 25,000 more into the population.
And also things.
Does he not know how like islands work?
No,
How
he thinks
do
they
you-
float. He thinks they're floating, like tethered. I don't know.
First off, let me just remind you, I believe Hank Johnson is still in Congress.
Do
Just
you know if
making
he's-
laws and governing people.
Do you know if he's still retarded too?
How does that admiral not look at him and be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I would have.
We don't anticipate that, sir.
I would have
It
immediately
was
been
such a
like,
military answer, though, wasn't it? So diplomatic. We
sometimes
don't
you gotta
anticipate
tell
that.
people they're stupid, even if they're your
They
superiors.
should. Well, this
I
is
just
why
don't
when
get it.
Trump says he wants to have a test, to be able to take public office, there should be certain level of intelligence, and this guy would not have passed clearly if he thinks islands are floating around in the water and can capsize.
There's a few like special congressmen and women that we have. Like, have you seen Jasmine Crockett and some of the shit she's done? She's bad too. Yeah.
I've seen her.
That was not AI, unlike the video we watched earlier that was entirely AI, which, by the way, makes me go want to watch that movie, Divergent. Did you guys ever watch that?
Yeah, I read the
Yeah,
books first.
That was
but
very
I
much
watched
like the
it.
trailer.
Yeah, it was very much like Divergent. Like,
Yeah. Might have
it's
been
like
the same
somebody
soundtrack.
told Perplexity, make me an ad of the United States if Divergent were real life in the United States.
Yeah. That's a good observation.
Yeah.
The
But,
books were
yeah.
better than the movies.
It's some fear mongering. What do you guys think about this election, though? I want to talk to you guys because we're doing our election show Tuesday, by the way. Make sure you guys tune in. We got some great guests lined up. Ash, we should probably coordinate that schedule at some point.
Yeah.
Let's talk tomorrow. But I think the fix is in. I know everybody wants to be like all happy thoughts. It's going to be okay.
So you've
But
said that a few times. What do you mean? What do
I see a
you?
lot of people just being like, there's no way Trump's going to win. And like, don't even talk about election fraud because it's just not possible. And it's not, I think our audience is very well prepared for whatever happens. I think they're already setting up the Con Inc. has their new talking point. It's like not the California wine moms. It's the inverse of that, where it's just not enough men are voting now, right?
Yeah.
So they've got that point out there. The polls are acting like this is a super close election, and we're seeing shenanigans everywhere. Like what's going on in Pennsylvania, the Colorado thing. And Ash, both of you could talk about this. They leaked the BIOS passwords to the website, right? And does that make the entire nation's election, like Dominion machines, vulnerable?
Yes.
Not that they weren't already, but
Well, so, and I'll let Ash chime in too, but just the BIOS alone does not. However, pretty sure they leaked more than that. Ash, go ahead.
why do you say that?
So
Well, you make fun of me for my sources, so I'm not going to say why I say that.
Wait, what?
Publicly on X, Mad Liberals said that they in the spreadsheet was also the default password. He put it on X.
It's deleted.
Well, if it was on X,
he took it down, which reminds me, I need to take it out of my article.
Well, then maybe it's not true.
No, it is true.
Okay, well, if it was on X, it's fair game. Let's not.
Yeah, right.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, they released a lot more than just the passwords. They released the algorithm that is used to generate the format of the passwords, and it's a lot.
So there's the BIOS passwords look like a random string of letters and numbers, but they're using a generator, and there's a pattern to it, and you can see, once you know what to look for, you can see the pattern pretty easily in it. It's there's a lot of vulnerabilities that are opened up by this. Jared Polis today announced that they completed updating the passwords and checking the log files, so everything is good and everyone can trust the election.
Your citation of that was excellent, Ash. I used your little clip there in my article, and I, of course, credited you. The string of questions you had.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have so many questions, and they don't respond to them. But on whatever day it was, Monday that this broke, I sent request to comment to the Secretary of State's office, and they didn't respond. But very shortly after, they issued their press release, and then shortly after that, Jenna went on. This is maybe Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. Went on Kyle Clark, and that motherfucker asked her all my questions.
That motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was that the one where will you resign or whatever?
That was
I didn't ask that question. I don't give a shit if she resigns. I want the office shut down. I want a special counsel. I want them to figure out what the hell happened. That office, in my opinion, is a crime scene. And not just because passwords were leaked onto the internet, because the passwords being leaked onto the internet is like the 6th issue we've had with this election alone. And oh, by the way, the passwords were on the internet live for the whole world to have access to during the June primary.
Yeah, since June. How does one accidentally put the passwords on the website? Like how?
Yeah, so I can answer that with the official narrative. So
I want the unofficial narrative. I want the truth.
Well, I can give you theories, but the story is that there is a file on the website called Voting System Inventory. I don't know why it's there in that format. It just seems like a terrible idea for critical infrastructure, but the file of the voting system inventory being there is not the problem. After the breach, they took it down, removed the passwords, and put it back up. So it's there for some legitimate purpose. I think that should be, evaluated. But in this file that's been up since June, when you go into it, it's one worksheet and it says inventory, the tab name. When you right click on it, you can do unhide. If you right click and select unhide, then you get the option to select 4 other worksheets in the workbook. And if you just select them all, you don't have to do any sort of security or anything. You select the 4, you hit OK, and 4 new spreadsheets appear. And in the one of the 4 spreadsheets are the plain text BIOS passwords, unencrypted, just sitting right there.
Who found it, by the way?
So the Colorado GOP has an affidavit from, and the name is redacted on it, but from somebody who has been downloading that file and I think all of the files on the website regularly. And they were I believe alerted to this when it was taken down. On Thursday, it was taken down, and the Colorado GOP's affiant says that alerted them that something was going on. Then they looked and they said, holy shit, there's passwords in here. The Secretary of State's story is that a vendor alerted them to the passwords being on the website. That comes from Deputy Secretary of State Chris Beal in a meeting with all of the clerks that he had at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. He told them, and I have confirmation of this from more than one clerk, he told them that a vendor alerted them to it on the 24th. Or they took it down on the 24th, but right around there.
Kanko, why did you do this?
Because you're totally a Fed and I can't tell you.
No more secrets, bro. We need to start getting all this shit out on the table.
Brian's an insider. It's all the inside sources.
I am. That's all we're saying is that it wasn't hard for either of us. Well, Ash probably knew sooner than I did because she's got her finger on the pulse of Colorado better than anybody.
And you just steal all the work. Yeah.
It wasn't hard for me to figure out who it was.
Yeah. I'm just we need to get all this stuff out in the open. Like if there's an insider who knows something, like let's get this shit public. And
so if you have an insider, see, this is the thing about insiders. Everybody always wants to know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you out who it is, then that can restrict what they're able to continue doing.
But if they've already caught some sort of criminal activity, then let's.
Do you think anything's going to happen from this?
Not if he stays quiet about it.
If you go to @PWiser on X and encourage him to open a special counsel investigation into this and treat Jenna Griswold the same way, because remember, the law is equal no matter who you are.
@PWiser has a conflict of interest. He cannot be the one to investigate.
How do you spell that?
He can't.
WEISER.
Yeah.
And this guy is
the Colorado Attorney General.
Is he okay, so this guy? Is he Republican or a Democrat?
Democrat. Everybody's a Democrat.
They're all Democrats. Yeah.
They're all communist. Is he a Democrat or is he a communist?
There's no difference here.
Pretty much.
Really. They're synonyms in the state of Colorado.
Hey,
don't do that, especially not live on the air while I'm on the show. I live here in the state.
Okay.
I know you give zero fucks. But
I mean, there's nothing wrong with petitioning your elected officials, your public officials to open investigations. There's nothing. And didn't Weiser, Ash, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Weiser use the BIOS passwords as kind of the instigation, or what would you call it? Like the cause to investigate Tina Peters? Tina Peters.
The initial narrative about Tina for months was that she stole passwords and leaked them online, and it was a 5-alarm fire. Because is that how many alarms there are? Is there more than 5?
Yeah.
What's the maximum amount of alarms? Because that's how many alarms. The maximum amount of alarms was how many alarms it was.
Depends on the size of the building, I'd imagine.
The state of Colorado.
Okay, there's probably
was it
Rubenstein or so.
All the alarm fire.
All the alarm fire. Okay.
All right.
Was it Rubenstein or Weiser though that initiated the investigation?
It was the person who discovered the password situation and rang all of the alarms is Jesse Romero from the Secretary of State's office.
So
and this is, if you go to Colorado Free Press, it's all laid out with the testimony from Tina's trial. The crazy thing about this is that these guys all just went under oath. Everybody in that office, not everybody, but like the key staff in that office, were all just under oath talking about what a big deal this is in Tina Peters' trial. And now they're saying, well, it's not a big deal because we did it.
And these were public while she was on trial, like while they were sentencing her and everything.
Yeah, when Jesse Romero sat under oath and said only 4 people and my supervisor have access to these passwords. They are under lock and key. They are incredibly confidential. The vendors don't have them. The counties don't have them. Nobody has them but the Secretary of State's office. When he said that, they were live on the website.
Oh my gosh.
Yo,
that was during the trial. Was that during the trial?
Yeah,
We
they've
got
been live on the website since at least June. The file was created in May. We don't know when it was originally posted, but it's confirmed that they were up in June. And the trial was in August, and they were taken down on October 24th, just last Thursday. So
Wonder
We
if
gotta
that
find
could
that
trigger
exact-
some kind of, you know, in Tina's like appeal, if that would help her case. I would imagine it
So
would.
the passwords were on the website for the June primary, for Tina's trial, for all of the logic and accuracy testing and everything that's happened with the machines in the run up to this general election and during voting during the period of time up through last Thursday that voting was taking place in this election. And they are trying to tell us that there is no evidence, and that's of course what they say. There's no evidence that there was any breach. Okay, the whole thing is you need physical access. There has been so many opportunities to social engineer your way into physical access with all of the stuff that's happened while those passwords were live, but they're not even looking or asking that question. They're just saying there's no evidence. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen that any. Well, did you ask?
Well,
Did you
aren't
look
they?
at all the footage? Did you
So
see if there's anybody unauthorized anywhere? Because now there's a possibility that that was a thing. Did you interview everybody? No, because they've said in 48 hours that the threat is neutralized and everything's fine.
Well, they're the ones who made the mistake, quote unquote, a mistake of putting it on the website, and they're the ones investigating whether or not there was
Yep.
any crime committed here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
inmates running the asylum. What do you're never going to get a proper investigation like that.
And that's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
Do we know if that algorithm for creating the passwords is the same on every machine, or is that just Colorado specific?
It's nationwide.
Bullshit.
I don't know the answer to that, actually.
I've been told it's nationwide. John, bring up my screen real quick.
Don't you have
So-
access here?
You can do it, but it's better.
Importantly, the passwords in Colorado are not just Dominion. There are other vendor as well. Clear Ballot. There's passwords to those devices as well.
So I put this when I was doing my research on this. I put this in here. Do you need physical access to get into the computer's BIOS? Because we had Clay on Badlands Daily, I think on Wednesday, talking about this. And it says typically that it is required to enter its BIOS, but there are a few key reasons for this. However, there are a few limited exceptions. Okay. Now, I'm not going to read through the exceptions because it doesn't matter. When you're talking about the
Why?
elections,
They seem kind of important. Can we look at them?
they're not.
Okay.
Because if you think about this, there's no greater reward than hacking the elections of the United States of America. And so if they're going to say that there's limited exceptions, people will move hell on earth in order to access those exceptions. But we can humor them just in case, anyways. Not that any of us are going to understand, but it says some manufacturers provide utilities that can modify certain BIOS settings from within the operating system. For example, Dell, which they use Dell computers, has a toolkit that allows changing some BIOS settings via executable files. On Windows 8 and later, there's an option to reboot directly into UEFI BIOS.
Hang on, pause for a second. Just on the Dell thing, a lot of the devices that this compromise happened for are Dell computers.
I literally just said that.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
I just said
Finding
we're all
out when you
talking about
talk.
Dell computers. Almost everything Dominion uses is Dell.
Yeah, but it's Clear Ballot too. Just FYI.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, well, you're adding that, but that's only 2 counties, right?
Yeah, it's like 20 something devices though.
Yeah, and then it says some
Doors.
enterprise
These devices are doors into the election system.
100%, and they will use a tank to get through the door because the election is that important. And not only that, it's elevated this time. Like in any other election, it's probably like just control of a $26 trillion economy, no big deal, right? But in this election, it's literally their freedom. Like, do you think Jenna Griswold, if she loses if Trump wins the election, do you think that's all that's going to go like remiss? Like, just we're going to forget about all that? I don't think so. The last one says some enterprise-grade server systems may have out-of-band management capabilities that allow BIOS-level access remotely, but this is not common for typical desktop or laptop computers.
But they could certainly be built that way.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, the bottom line is if you don't think that this is that they're, like I said, they're going to move hell on earth to access these systems. That's why when people say like, oh, like Laura Trump, I hate to say it, but she's gaffing off the Michigan thing as human error or technical glitch.
What's the Michigan thing?
So in Michigan, they uncovered, and we're going to talk a lot about this on Sunday. In Michigan, they uncovered this So going through the cast vote records or the QVF, they found that certain voter IDs have been voting like numerous times, like one voter ID,
multiple addresses, right, or something.
No, it's one individual. It's the same voter ID, but each voter ID is assigned to different addresses, but the same name. And so, like, there's over 80,
weird.
so there's over 85,000 people thus far in Michigan alone that have voted over a total of like 250,000 times, I believe. So I don't want to get too into this. This is going to be the focus of Sunday's culture change.
Yeah.
It's going to be fascinating.
It's all elections all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
between now and probably ever.
well, I mean, that sounds like a big deal. Can we talk a little bit more about it?
I mean, I don't, to be honest with you, like, I only know what's being reported. And as I'm reading the reporting on it, I'm like, that's not right. So I don't want to say too much. I want to leave it to the people.
What I'm talking about. The fixes they're stealing. Like, Trump is wiping the floor with Kamala right now, guys. I don't think people understand. Like, this early voting turnout numbers are insane, but they're still going to do it.
So this may sound naive, but are we totally discounting the fact that maybe there's patriots that are doing some stuff behind the scenes to counteract what we knew was going to happen? Like, this was telegraphed in 2020, and we all thought that they, you know, allowed them to steal it. But like, why would they not be prepared this time? And is there any way there can be some sort of counter program that could undo whatever kind of vote flipping that they're going to do with these machines?
I believe it now more than ever. And I think that they also have a sense of humor because like 2 months ago, the important people in the Secretary of State were all under oath talking about how important the BIOS passwords are and how all of these things, very specific details about the process and security requirements and everything under oath in court of law. And now they have to walk all of it back because this is happening to them. So yes, Jay Triet, I agree.
I agree with you too, but I also think it's more so about the public becoming aware of the fraudulent system and getting pissed off about it before they do anything. You know what I mean?
But John, do you think though they would actually have to steal it like they did in 2020 in order for people to be aware of it? Or can there be instances like we're already seeing in Colorado and in Michigan that can wake people up to it? Or do you think it needs to be something so massive as another, you know, crazy like 5 days of counting votes and Trump's ahead, but no, all of a sudden miraculously she's ahead and she wins and the media anoints her?
Yeah, I do think we're going to get that, by the way. But no, actually, I do think I found a way that Trump can win and still expose the fraud through the legal system. And we were going to talk about it on the Power Hour tomorrow night.
Teaser.
I think I might pull a CanCon here and wait
right
until that show. But yeah.
Great. Now you're going to make me watch.
I just feel like he's got people on his side that are like, you know, technical geniuses. You've got Elon Musk, Larry Ellison. I mean, you know, there's people that do this shit for a living. And to think that they're going to get caught with their pants down, that just doesn't make sense to me. And it's been, you know, it's been sort of telegraphed that it was going to be this way. And I'm confident that something's going to happen that's going to not only expose election fraud now, but in the past, and it's also going to put Trump back in the White House. So, and I know you agree with that part. At least we all kind of agree that by January 20th he'll be inaugurated. But
yeah, one thing, Wild Boar 17 says John is running scared because of his 2022 call. I'm not scared of anything, Wild Boar, you little shit talking bitch.
What was your 2022 call?
Well, I said I think Trump will be like, I think the election fraud will be, because it's the stem from the Arizona audits. I said I think the audits will like expose the election fraud, and a byproduct of the election fraud exposure will be Trump returning prior to the midterms. Because if Trump doesn't come back before the midterms, that means our election fraud system hasn't been exposed, and we're not going to get the red wave everybody says we're getting. And because I was saying that stuff, I got blamed for our midterm losses. I don't know if have we started Badlands at that point? Yeah, we did. Devolution caused the midterm losses.
Blamed for a midterm? Wow.
Oh my, yeah. I
never heard that.
Remind me to show you a bunch of shit. I have tons of posts all over the internet. It was a lot of like the jealous we the media people. But no, I fully think Trump ends up being inaugurated. I think at some point between now and inauguration, our election fraud stuff gets exposed. It's just a matter of how. Do we get the hose again first, or can we win? And I don't know. I don't know what the people have planned, because I also fully agree with Chris in a way that this is like a fake election. Trump won 2020 and they stole it from him, and he walked away and put something else in place. Like, that being said, how much of this
like devolution
is just narrative? It's a narrative election. You know what I mean? So
I mean, to me, like, it's comforting to see how much fun Trump and Elon and Tucker and all these people are having with this. They're not sweating it out. So, that's why it's reassuring to me. I mean, I took my parents to vote yesterday. We all voted in person early, like Trump said. Normally we would vote on election day, but it was sort of kind of a calming feeling when I walked out of there. I said, well, it's really all I can do. It's in God's hands. And I think, if our nation is to survive and God cares about that, we are in good hands, and things are going to work out ultimately in the end. So I'm going to try not to sweat the bumpy ride if that's what's in store for us, and just know it's going to work out in the end.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that are taking place in the broad view right now. First off, President Trump himself. I mean, he's campaigning in Virginia right now. He's campaigning in New Mexico the other day. Like, he is not
states that shouldn't be in play.
He's not in Pennsylvania. He's not in Michigan. He went to New York on Sunday. He's not in the places that you would think that he's supposed to be, which tells him that his internal polling is infinitely better than what we're being led to believe in the mainstream media, which we know is fake and gay and just wants to continue to create ratings, so to speak. He dropped the 250 million supporters comment the other day, which tags off of Chris Paul bringing up the Al Smith dinner when he said maybe 75% of the room likes me, not 50-50, maybe 75-25. 250 million people is 75%. But taking it I forgot where I was going with this. A step further with this. Sorry, now I'm going off on a tangent here.
Oh, how could anybody do this? I've never seen this before. Yeah.
Where's the cogent one? That's what I need right now.
He's cogent.
There you go.
Kind of
there
perfect.
you go.
You're a little rambling.
Trump's not worried. And the rest of it will come to me in a second. I'll interrupt.
To your point, though, Brian, also conversely, Kamala has pulled out of North Carolina. She pulled all her funding, right? So she, in what should be a state that maybe that North Carolina is not a swing state per se, but it'd be like maybe the equivalent of New Mexico, or like a state, or New Hampshire, something that's possible to flip. She pulled all her money out. So, and you're seeing Trump going into these states like Virginia, New Mexico, and he's campaigning there. So I think that's a really good sign, because they're never going to tell you what the internal polling is saying, and that's a good insight.
Yeah. So I remember what it was now, and all the numbers that are coming in so far for early voting, especially in the states that delineate Republican, Democrat, Independent, are dominating the 2020 numbers for Republicans. Dominating. Now, that doesn't mean that they're all Donald Trump voters necessarily. I would think right now that more than likely you're going to see more Democrats jump ship to Republican than the other way around.
Yeah, I think that's pretty certain.
Yeah, I mean, 28% on the economy is not going to do it for you. But what's even more obvious is the narrative. You played the Stacey Abrams clip that we played, on Daily as well, where she literally starts nailing down this new foundation of a narrative that they're going to vote on election day now, Democrats, because Republicans put all these rules in that made it harder to vote by mail. So these Democrats are now going to get up and go to the polls. But this is where Sunday's culture of change is going to come into play, because I do believe that they have a fix for in-person voting. I just don't know if that's going to be as effective as the mail-in, because it's going to be much, much harder for them to pull off.
What do you mean?
Well, so when you vote on election day, there's certain things that you have in place. A lot of states still have voter ID, even though we bitch about it all the time. A lot of states still have voter ID. A lot of states still have poll pad check-in numbers that you can get through freedom of information, and you can find out, do the number of ballots match the number of people that were checked in. But this is, again, the reason why I think they push back so hard on the rule in Georgia that you can't hand count the ballots and compare that with the number of people that checked in the poll books. I think this is also why you saw the numbers in Dallas County at the end of the night. You saw the poll pads start spiking up 2 years in a row, 2 elections in a row. And then Crowder comes out this morning and he's like, oh, look, we found the password. It's like, dude, they don't need the password. They don't need the fucking password. For the last 2 elections, they've just added thousands of voters at the precinct after hours. So it's there are better securities in place, but you're not yet there to where in-person hand-counted, hand-marked paper ballots at the precinct level would be.
Interesting. I kind of do want to go over this election thing now and show you guys this because you two are here. I just got to find it again. So, but this, you remember the electoral count thing that they did back in, and they passed it with one of the NDAAs, but have you ever looked at what they actually changed with that?
Yep. Ash talked about this on Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday.
What'd you guys say?
We played this video from Shipwreck, and most of it I already knew.
So the topic is, does Kamala Harris have the ability to certify the election? Is that what you're getting at, John?
No, this is
so then we didn't talk about this.
Well, that could be part of it, but this is completely different. This is this is like judicial relief, and this is something that I don't think I've seen anybody talk about before. Let me just find the right part here, because this is how I think Trump could technically win and still expose the fraud by like basically suing. So if Trump were to, okay, let's look at this. Okay. Treatment of certificate as conclusive for purposes of Section 15. In general, certificate issued by executive, except as provided in subparagraph B. A certificate of ascertainment of appointment of electors is issued pursuant to subsection A1 shall be treated as conclusive in Congress with respect to the determination of electors appointed by the state. Any certificate of ascertainment of appointment of electors required to be issued or revised by any state or federal judicial relief granted prior to the date of the meeting of electors shall replace and supersede any other. So they're saying if the states like put forth electors and then a court is to come forth and say like, no, those were false, we're gonna, this is part right here, those aren't accurate electors, there's election fraud here, whatever that judge rules on, that replaces and supersedes the electors from the state, okay? And then it goes on. Determination of federal courts on questions arising under the Constitution with respect shall be conclusive in Congress. So whatever those judges say is conclusive. And then they actually like laid out a venue, an expedited path for a president to challenge stuff in states. Huh. Any action brought by an aggrieved candidate for president or vice president that arises under the Constitution or laws of the United States with respect to the issuance of the certificate. Oh my gosh, I can't read. Issuance of the certification required under Section A1 or the transmission of such certification as required under subsection B shall be subject to the following rules. The venue for such action will be the federal district court of the federal district in which the state capital is located. There'll be a 3-judge panel. The court shall be comprised of 2 judges of the circuit court of appeals and 1 judge from the district. It's an expedited procedure. It shall be the duty of the court to advance the docket and to expedite to the greatest possible extent the disposition of the action consistent with all other relevant deadlines, blah, blah, blah. Appeals, notwithstanding 1253 of Title 28 United States Code, the final judgment of the panel convened under subparagraph B, the 3-judge panel, may be reviewed directly by the Supreme Court by writ of how do you say certiorari granted upon petition. Anyway, so they're basically this thing by Congress here, which they were addressing January 6th, they laid out a path for any aggrieved party for president to challenge the slate of electors and get it expedited to the Supreme Court, and their ruling is final and conclusive. I mean, you could look at it both ways, but I thought this was interesting because if there is a bunch of shenanigans and Trump sues for it, we have a conservative Supreme Court. This could be pretty damn interesting.
Yeah, I never read that before.
Yeah, I have to read that part. I was more focused on the certification of the votes by the VP.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because they actually laid out, what is it, grounds for
It's ceremonial now, just like every certification. Ash and I were talking about this, like from the lowest level at the county all the way up to Congress. It's all ceremonial bullshit now.
Yeah, but they created the only 2 grounds in which electors can be challenged now too, and they were not lawfully certified, or the vote of one or more electors has not been regularly given. Like that's it. You can't just challenge for whatever you want anymore.
Right.
So they made it so it can't be done in Congress.
Frivolous,
it has to be done.
yeah.
It has to be done through the courts. Hi, Zach. By the way.
Real and straight.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
I just thought I'd pop in and see how everybody's doing.
Oh, we're doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about the election.
Has everybody voted?
No,
I
it's
did,
not
actually.
election day.
We've got
Brian,
early
did you
voting
vote?
going on.
No, I don't vote till Tuesday.
Yeah, same.
See,
I was gonna do that, but then I started feeling sick, and I was like, I'm not gonna wait in line if I'm sick. I'm gonna go early. So I did.
I just decided to go ahead and do it and get it out of the way. And plus, they've been putting such an overemphasis on voting early. And I also think that there is a psychological component that the left has often used. Always it's them going out and voting early. And then by the time we get to election day, they're like, oh, look at this. There's all of these many millions of Democrat votes that are already there. It's going to be difficult for them to overcome it. And now I'm thinking, what if we have so many people who vote early that it's statistically impossible for them to be able to steal the election on election day, because we've already had such a large percentage of the voting population come out and cast a ballot.
Can't put a price tag on that.
It's interesting.
I told Chris Paul today on Daily, I said, bro, we might be owing Scott Pressler an apology.
Fuck that. I will never apologize.
I'll never apologize.
No.
He agreed. Chris agreed with me. Chris agreed with me.
Wash your
Did
mouth.
he really?
So
Wow.
Yeah. Well, first off, I never bashed him. I always said that, fight it on every front. And I understand a lot of people are pissed about it. And I thought it was pretty boneheaded, but it was an op. I think
did
it was
he
an op.
actually agree with you, Chris? I don't believe that.
He said he very well could have been an op.
Pull the tape.
Yeah.
Pull the tape.
That wasn't on
I
my
can
bingo
find it.
card, that's for sure.
I can find it. I will find it.
So here's the thing. I mean, I never had a problem with Scott Pressler, and I truly believe that any way we can get people to the polls, like whatever is most comfortable for them, like let's go ahead and get it done. I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't take advantage of any possible way to do it. I mean, the left has had no problem in capitalizing on any opening they have. So, let's just go ahead and fight fire with fire.
I have no problem with registering voters. I have no problem with picking up trash. I think these are delightful things. I have a problem with blaming voters for things that happen on election day. Saying, you got to vote early, because what happens if if there's a drawer 3 situation again? Blaming voters for election fraud and saying that it's their fault, which I'm paraphrasing him, but that's effectively where he went. 4 months.
See, I had no idea he had said that. I mean, I don't pay attention to Scott Pressler.
Deep-seated.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. Me neither.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many people out there saying so much garbage.
I
just figured hey, I voted early once in a primary because we were going to be at an event on election day. and that was it.
What year was that? Because it's probably
I think it was the year we met in Vegas.
2022, the midterms?
It must have been the midterms.
No. Well, that was 2021.
Or maybe I don't remember. I don't know. I just know that it was early. It was a midterm. Maybe it wasn't a midterm. I don't know.
You're 13 months early.
Either way, I voted early once before. Now I voted early again, and I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming anybody for not choosing to vote early or choosing to vote on election day. Also, Brian, I mean, there was some talk there for a little bit that we might be getting a hurricane in Florida on election day. And I also thought, geez, what a hell of an op that would be if they could control hurricanes to such a degree that they hit this state on election day, effectively denying people the ability to even vote. That would be bad.
I have two things before we play this. When I went and voted, well, first of all, the day before I went and voted, my buddy texted me. He's like, hey, somebody working the election place here in town at the Civic Center was wearing a Badlands sweatshirt. So I thought that was cool. Whoever you are, if you're watching, thank you for doing that. But it was weird. Like here in North Dakota, they give you the option to vote on machine or paper. It just felt weird. Like I did paper, then you go and you put it in the machine, and it's just like, Okay, that's it. Like it just takes it, and I have no way of verifying.
Yeah.
From
you
there,
don't even get a printout of how you voted. You just
Nope.
get a printout that you voted. Yep, good job.
Trust us.
I don't get a printout at all.
Great
I just got a
job
sticker,
pooping.
which might be in my pocket. Oh, not that pocket. Nope. Apparently, I lost that too.
All right, here's the clip. So it's kind of absurd to think that they wouldn't do that. But one of the other points that is pretty important about this is the weight they're putting on whether or not the person voting is a Republican or Democrat, and automatically assuming that vote is going to the particular candidate. And I think that's a testament of the tribalization of this country as a whole, and that they automatically assume, and let them try and twist that narrative.
Too close.
Like if we know all this information, and this is one of the reasons, and we'll probably talk about this later on, but I've got a feeling, and I'm going to say this, and you're probably going to hate me for it, or at least yell at me for it. I got a feeling we might owe Scott Pressler an apology after November 5th.
No! Yeah, God! I mean, it's entirely possible that... No! God, please, no! 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 No!
You're probably going to hate me for it, or at least yell at me for it.
You can't keep playing.
I got a feeling we might owe Scott Pressler an apology after November 5th.
Yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible that Scott is just running an op to create, to accomplish narrative goals in letting the country understand that every possible route was pursued by Donald Trump, so that there is nothing, narratively speaking, that the quote unquote Kamala Harris people can use as the justification for how she achieved this enormous and surprising victory.
Oh, keep playing. Keep playing.
There's a
I'll play it as long as you want.
Keep playing.
I'm totally open to that possibility. It's just that everything he's doing supports the election rigging apparatus, and he will not answer questions that should be answered by someone in that position. Now, if it's all an op, it's all an op, and all good, man. I would love to be wrong about all these people, all the way up to Ben Shapiro. For real. I would be like,
that's a stretch.
And I don't think I am, but I would love to go out and be like, you know what, Ben Shapiro, I'm sorry I ever doubted you, right? That's totally on me. I was too skeptical about that. I should have seen this pattern and thought, hey, Ben Shapiro's a great guy. But I don't think that. And we have to actually be skeptical about all these things, because nobody's going to give us the answers. And if we don't try on multiple possibilities and see which one actually maps onto reality, we can't guide anything. And, people are like, well, that's too skeptical. That's pessimistic. What do you mean? These aren't our friends. These are strangers on television that are getting paid enormous sums of money and not being canceled, while telling us what to think and being wrong and leading people into making terrible decisions, like going and signing up for a medical experiment, So
okay,
all right, we can end there.
That was not him agreeing with you, though. That was,
it was
not at all.
It absolutely
the words.
He's like, that it could be an op, but
if Trump ends up winning, we could owe Pressler an apology. Now, what you don't know before,
he definitely didn't say that.
No, he did not.
That's what I said, and he said yes, that very well could be. I think that's a direct quote. Yes. So what you guys miss is, before that, we were talking about in 2020, Trump said everybody needs to vote in person. And of course, as Jay was saying earlier, we were kind of like playing from behind then. So in this election cycle, and we also know that in 2020, when they had the mail-in ballot avenue, when they had that avenue of attack, that avenue of attack, they injected ballots. I mean, we know about, and we talked about this in that segment. We talked about, Patrick Byrne and the 9 truckloads that he's claiming now in federal court, by the way, that he's claiming came across the state lines into Pennsylvania, into Michigan. When he's talking about all that stuff, when you're talking about the Gateway Pundit footage that they uncovered at the TCF arena of 67 boxes of ballots being delivered at 4 a.m., which, by the way, Dinesh D'Souza in Vindicating Trump actually lays out exactly what I've been saying the whole time. They took those boxes, they put them under the tables, they kept them there until there was a shift change. Like, it's almost like Dinesh watches my shows. They waited till there was a shift change, and then they pulled them out because the new election workers had no clue that they weren't there the whole time.
I feel like you're filibustering. And also, why does that mean that we owe Scott Pressler an apology?
Because in 2024, because in 2024, Trump went the opposite route. He already showed, I mean, there's tons of evidence that we uncovered in 2020. Now he kind of put them in a catch-22. Now he took away the mail-in cheat from them. And now on November 5th, they're going to have to use an in-person cheat. Now let's see what happens. But I think we're going to see something really insane on November 5th.
You know
Vagina.
Maybe that would be really insane.
Well, you mentioned in passing, and we're not going to get into it because we're going to get into it on Sunday, but that there is a single voter ID that is triggering additional voters based on name, additional voters with the same name, different addresses. I have, I'm working on a story, and I'm not going to say what state and sorry, John, but deal with it. Because it's not ready I'm not ready to talk about it yet. But in this state, the ID was triggered by the driver's license and based on the address. So it was the same voter ID, same address, different name, similar name, but different name.
I haven't seen that. I've definitely seen same name, different address, same voter ID, 30 votes, but I haven't seen multiple names with the same voter ID. That's interesting.
Yeah. And that's what Brian's talking about is same voter ID, same name, different address.
Yeah.
I've got same voter ID, same address, different name.
That's spicy.
Then you can combine and, those could be building blocks to put a whole bunch of different algorithmic pieces together.
Our whole election systems are so damn convoluted and complicated.
Totally fucked.
By design.
It does not need to be this way, and maybe that's the point.
It's designed to be this way.
I'd say so. Yeah, I mean, the whole it's got to be completely dismantled and reworked in a very simplified fashion, and I think that's what would happen when Trump comes back. I mean, there's going to be a different sort of methodology that gets used because this doesn't make any sense, and nobody trusts it.
No, and there has to be a public mandate, an enormous public mandate to get those election laws changed and have a new system. And that's where, in my mind, the left has to feel it too. The left has to feel like they got cheated. And I'm feeling like, maybe a Trump landslide where the left, who believed in this race is so close polls might go, oh my God, he cheated. The video we watched earlier tonight, it's basically like implying that we would be the ones doing the cheating. So if the left gets pissed off and says, no, we need an audit and all that, that's now you got everybody on board and that's a public mandate for a new system.
So Gizmo's mom said, well, you can't vote if you're not registered. So there's that. Unfortunately, that's not true. They are definitely allowing people who have no proof of registration to cast ballots. And
in Colorado, you can vote. You can register to vote and vote until the moment the polls close.
Yeah.
In North Dakota, you just show up. There is no registration.
Wow. So, Ash, are you going to be seeking any criminal charges against Jenna Griswold?
So I won't comment on ongoing litigation, Zach. But I'm dealing with an appeal right now. The NAACP appealed a lot of P's my case, so that'll all happen. It'll probably drop, to be honest, when we're in Myrtle Beach, because I have not had a GART where something with my case hasn't dropped while we were at GART. In Deadwood, it was that they appealed. That came down on the Friday while we were there. And just like, motions to every single GART, there's been something with the case. So it'll probably come down then. It's due by the 11th, and they've already, asked for one extension. We haven't seen anything. It's pretty stupid. But after this whole thing is done, I am going to sue a lot of people.
Good. I was hoping that there might be an opportunity to reclaim some money.
Yeah.
We're building Badlandia. Once Ash becomes a trillionaire.
With Treehouse Studios. We're all going to have our own Treehouse studio.
I get my GT 500 first.
I was hoping maybe we could have like a missile silo studio.
Zach, we can get that. You can get a yacht. We can get the yacht studio.
Yes!
We can do the yacht.
Buy Guam and then tip it over.
Like,
where's Hank when you need him?
Oh, we played that clip earlier. Oh, it's so funny.
Let's get all of us on one side of it. And
Oh my
just jump,
God.
like in the elevator.
You
We
guys,
should-
if we had a yacht, if we did a yacht studio, that would be so sweet.
If I'm being honest, I hate the ocean. I would never buy like a ocean yacht.
You hate the ocean?
Ocean?
I hate going. Like I hate the idea of being on the ocean.
Wow.
Oh, you're
in
a
boat.
communist.
Yeah, being on the ocean's great,
He's a
dude.
communist, but
It's scary.
it's
The
very
ocean is
scary.
scary.
The ocean.
The ocean is scary.
I
Space
love
is,
it.
I'd much rather go to space. Like I don't know what's down there.
Space is just as scary as the ocean.
I can swim. I can't breathe in a vacuum.
I'm not going there naked. I'd be wearing a spacesuit.
Well,
I'd be wearing a
things
diving
You're
happen.
wearing a diving
But
suit.
you can't see anything under the water.
You can't see it in space.
I guarantee
It's
you
not like space camp, John.
And no one can hear you scream either.
much more people have died in the ocean than in space.
Much fewer people, not per capita.
Yeah, per capita, per everything.
No, not per capita.
Yeah.
Millions of people
How
go
many-
into the ocean every single year. And yeah, no way. No way.
I love the ocean.
This is why I come here on Fridays. You
Bro, how can you?
I'm just gonna say, if we get that yacht studio, we need good insurance on it, because if Dictator Vance takes office, like that video said earlier.
Oh my God, you guys saw that? It was
We're gonna be underwater.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Oh,
underwater.
good.
My
Oh,
God,
That
just the
was
studio
a
will be
whole,
destroyed.
There's a whole story arc on Fear the Walking Dead, the spinoff, where they did
Yeah.
a whole part of the season. I think it was part of the season, not the whole
Yeah.
season, but on a yacht.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was
gonna-
brilliant. I mean, if I was in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, just get on a boat,
Right.
bro. Especially a big yacht like that. As long as there's no sea tornadoes that come after you.
I'd probably just go to space if a zombie apocalypse.
Call them,
happened.
Because spaceships are going to be super.
No
Can you
zombies
imagine
out there.
Being
Water
on the
stuff.
ISS with a horde of zombies just floating through the air coming towards you.
They don't know how to fly
Water
space.
stuff.
Just hope your co-pilot doesn't die, because then they turn into a zombie. So,
Well, it
Yeah,
depends
like
on
in-
the cause of death. If he was
well,
bit by
in
a
your
zombie,
sleep,
that's the
I
case.
don't know. Unless you
Well-
stab him in the head.
If it was natural causes, then he might not turn.
But hear me out. Then you've got a rotting human corpse that you have to live with on the ISS, because you can't just open the door. I guess you could put him in the airlock.
Yeah, you could
Okay.
float him.
Then
You could,
float
you
him.
could figure out a way to get him out.
Yeah.
He's
And
in
of
the
course,
thought-
we're
I
all
thought this all
assuming that
through, guys.
space exists, right?
Yeah, or
Well,
if you
you-
catch him in time, even after he turns, you can chain him up to that little treadmill they have on there, and just have him perpetually walking on that treadmill, and you can't get
Are you guys telling me you would rather have a studio on the ocean than like a space station studio?
Yes.
No, I mean, I think that it's more likely that I could have a studio on the ocean, and that's pretty far fetched. But
But practically,
station
zombie
studio.
apocalypse, it hits, right? We've all seen the precursors to all of those different lore. Happens fast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's zombies. How do you get to space?
exactly, yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
Elon's our boy. Remember that? I mean, Elon's
we'd all be trucking down to Texas to jump on the Starliner 1 or whatever.
exactly.
Be like, I hear
I'm
Boeing's got
I'm
a
going
bunch
to
of
the
ships
boat.
they're not
Greater
using.
chances of survival.
One
Wasn't
problem
there
at
a
a time.
movie? Wasn't there a movie that just came out where like an astronaut's in space and like he's sitting on the space station and he's looking back at Earth and all of a sudden like nukes start going off everywhere? and it's
Yes,
oh,
that's actually a good
fuck.
movie. I saw that.
What
Yeah.
movie's that?
I can't
I
remember the
don't
name of
know.
it, but I saw it. It was good. I love space
Sounds
myself.
familiar.
Okay, like if I could go to space, I would totally go to space. And I love like suspenseful terror movies that take place in space. Aliens is one of my
Heroes.
favorites of all time.
Oh, Aliens was a good movie.
Star
Yeah.
Wars.
So
Hmm.
good.
I mean,
so
that's like
was
fantasy,
The Abyss, though, which is kind of
Oh
like
no! Oh, The Abyss.
Aliens,
That was a
but
good
underwater.
one too. Yeah,
I love
USOs.
that movie.
Did you see that one, John? The Abyss.
I don't think so. Which one's that?
John has not seen Full Metal
What?
Jacket, you guys.
Dude, that's
What?
both of those
Yeah.
are on your list.
Yeah,
John.
that happened before the show.
haven't
went
gotten
live.
like,
through the
2
list
years
yet.
ago. How many of those movies have you watched?
I don't know. I haven't gone through the whole list yet. I haven't read through the list yet.
I want-
to watch the movies on the list.
And I didn't
Um,
even put as many as I wanted to on there. I was like, this is what he might be able to take a look at.
John, John is
busy.
busy. John is busy watching the Office reruns. Come on.
I haven't even been
see
able to
they're
do that.
coming
They
out
took
with
them
a
off
new
Netflix,
season?
so I don't get to watch those.
Oh,
What?
dude, they're on like regular cable. Like it's like,
like
a
Peacock.
marathon every day. It's
Okay,
like, yeah, I
who
forget
owns
what the name
regular cable anymore?
is.
You can
This
get
old- this
Peacock
old
for
boomer.
$5.99 a month.
Hey John, is Steve Carell going to be in the new season of Office?
There's a new season?
What?
Yeah, dude, there's a new season coming out in like a month.
No way.
I swear to God, look it up. My wife told me this the other day. I was like, is Steve Carell going to be on it? Yeah, there's a new Office season coming out. I think it's like 10 episodes.
What?
How do you not know this?
I don't know.
When
Doesn't
Christy
have
told me
cable.
that, I was like, John's
I
probably
don't
on
watch-
Katie like a schoolgirl, and of course you don't even know.
It's what? It's a spinoff? No.
Oh, is it a spinoff? I thought it was a whole new like.
Well, I mean, didn't they close down that branch or something like that? I mean, why did the show end?
Diddler Muffin?
Diddler.
Diddler.
Because it had
Diddler
gotten
Muffin. I
stale
like that.
and people weren't really watching it.
Because
anymore?
Joe was
yeah,
in there, so
that's
it's
it.
Diddler Muffin. Some good news.
Good news,
and
bad news.
as long as Dwight's on it,
Exactly.
he's based. as
I
The
don't know.
Office universe. An
Is there a
extended
cast?
universe for the
There it
Office.
was the cast list. There you go. Bottom.
It'll take place in the same universe as the original one.
Will
Well-
feature an ensemble cast.
It will not be about a paper company. Well, the same documentary crew that filmed the original, but this time they'll cover a dying historic Midwestern newspaper and the publisher trying to revive it.
Volunteer
They called
reporters.
Badlands.
Could
All right.
work.
If you take that storyline and the new Kamala Harris ad and smush them together, you get the movie Civil War.
Yep.
I actually enjoyed that more than I thought I was going to.
Oh, you're so gay.
I
Wasn't
can't
great.
stand
So
Kirsten
I like
Dunst.
Alex
I don't like her
Garland.
since she was a kid in Interview with a Vampire. I don't care for her.
I mean, there were definitely aspects of it that I thought were kind of preachy, but it wasn't as preachy as I assumed it was going to be. What I did take issue with was the fact that the story was about the journalists as like the arbiters of truth, and it was like so
the
totally
heroes.
bereft of any self-recognition, and that was certainly a missed opportunity. But I like war movies, and it's funny, I just did the show with this girl about accelerationism tonight, which kind of touches on like the idea of the collapse of the United States, something I've thought about quite often, going back to when I first watched Mad Max as like a 5-year-old. Like the idea of society crumbling and like how you would respond to that. I think that's one of the reasons I like zombie movies too.
We are probably closer to finding out than we've ever been before.
Yes, we
depending on
are.
Things
I'm all in. I'm all in.
on the collapse of society.
Like if we could like skip over the bloodbath and go straight to like the Walking Dead or the Mad Max, like the badass cars and like, yeah, I'd be all about that. Like I'm good with that, man. Like I'm prepared for the apocalypse.
I am too. Yeah.
I mean, if I'm just gonna roll with the flow, bro. I'm like the ocean, man. I'm fluid. I'm fluid, bro. I want to keep going like we're going, but I mean, dude, think about it. Like you got to wake up every day and you got all this bullshit going on. You got to go make money and you got to go do. I'd just rather wake up and go farm some fucking crops, go shoot some pigs or deer or whatever. And
You're a podcaster, bro. Like,
oh, I do more than just this, though. I mean,
but still, like, I mean, we do a lot of work, but it's not the hardest work. And also, like, waking up every day and like people trying to eat you, that sounds terrible,
dude. And also, don't forget about
mandatory
the marauding gang of bikers that are going to be trying to steal your like last drop of gasoline and lop your head off with a broadsword. You know what I mean? Seen enough Mad Max to know that that's going to happen.
Less than 0.1% of this world knows what it's like to kill somebody else. I will take my chances.
Well, yeah, you're in a different spot than I am. That's for sure.
Good point. Oh,
can we play the Hugh Hewitt thing? Oh, there's Gordon.
Oh, GBH.
What's up? Sorry, I still have AIDS from listening to Hank Johnson try to form a coherent thought.
What is Hewitt?
You haven't seen this yet? The Washington Post?
Well, I don't know.
Oh my God!
All you said was
first of all,
Hewitt,
breaking
and that's, like, not very
news.
specific.
Breaking news: the Washington Post has a TV show.
What? How many views does it have?
I don't know, but it's
Goodness.
not good. You're
John,
gonna
I
get a
can't
taste here in a
believe you have
second.
not
'Cause Brian's
seen
pretty
this yet.
excited about it.
This is fucking.
Is this part of
I may
Bezos?
have seen it. You just said
Hugh
the
Hewitt gets up
clip,
and
like-
walks out of an interview. Did you see that?
No,
Who's
that I haven't seen.
Hugh Hewitt?
so
I don't
yeah.
think.
Is that BBC
Oh.
pedo?
Watch,
No.
watch this
To
shit.
me, or does it seem like this week Donald Trump is laying the groundwork for contesting the election by complaining that cheating was taking place in Pennsylvania by suing Bucks County for alleged irregularities. And this is on top of his continual assertion that if he loses, it's because of cheating.
Yeah, that's what he's been this, just not in the last week, but in the last umpty-ump months. No election can be fair unless in Donald Trump's mind, unless Donald Trump wins it. And I think we are going to see him both rev up his supporters to contest elections outside of courtrooms and go to every courtroom he can in America where it's relevant to make whatever arguments he can, no matter how far-fetched. We saw
Jonathan,
that
I've
work
got
out last time, but it didn't work out this time. It may not work. It may not happen this time. And now I'll let you go, Hugh.
Well, I've just got to say, we're news people, even though we're at the opinion section. It's got to be reported. Bucks County was reversed by the court and instructed to open up extra days because they violated the law and told people to go home. So that lawsuit was brought by the Republican National Committee, and it was successful. The Supreme Court ruled that Glenn Youngkin was successful. We are news people, even though we have opinions, and we have to report the whole story if we bring up part of the story. So yes, he's upset about Bucks County, but he was right, and he won in court. That's the story.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Look at the host.
Wait, what did that host just do?
Hold on. You're about to miss the punchline.
Okay, well, chill. Dude,
Go back 10 seconds. I want to look.
It looks like he's writing, but it also looks like he's just like drawing circles.
Doodling.
He's drawing dicks.
Stick man.
He is literally
dicks,
drawing
yeah.
dicks. He is literally drawing dicks. All right, here we go.
Story.
There's the circle. There's the
I'll let you
balls.
keep going, Jonathan.
No, I don't appreciate being lectured about reporting when many times you come here saying lots of things that aren't.
I won't
based
come
in
back,
fact.
Jonathan. I'm
But
done.
Wow,
I'm done.
good for
This
him.
is the most unfair election ad I have ever been a part of. You guys are
Election
working.
ad.
That's fine. I'm done.
So
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So rude.
Good for him.
Fuck yeah.
Good for him. That's incredible. So how long has this been on the air? Is it new? Is it part of Bezos's
Yeah.
foray into conservative opinion?
Today. It was posted. The first I saw it posted was Billboard Chris at 12:34.
No, he means the platform post live, right? Isn't that what you mean?
Yeah,
Jack?
well, I mean, the Washington Post show. I mean, has this been around or is this new?
First one I've ever seen.
I did not know it existed until I saw this clip today. I posted this clip this morning as well.
That's
I hope that was the premiere. I hope that was the premiere of the show.
Yeah. So let me provide a little background here because there's more to this than what we're seeing here. So Hugh Hewitt, a month ago, Trump did an interview with Hugh Hewitt where it was like a 26-minute interview, spoke mostly about Israel and Iran. And Trump gave a lot of really, really interesting sound bites. The interview went completely unreported. Nobody talked about it. I went back and found it today. And Trump said some really, really interesting things, including he told Hugh Hewitt that he was working on getting Iran into the Abraham Accords, and it would have succeeded had he won the election. Because remember, the Abraham Accords were signed like 2 months before the election in 2020. And he was like, yeah, Iran was about to join. Like they were like all in on the peace deal. And it's bullshit that they stole the election from me and I wasn't able to finish it. He also explained at the very end, Hugh Hewitt asked him to give like some closing thoughts he asked him about his visit to the Kabod. Because remember, this was the interview happened on October 7th last month. And he said, yeah, you're going to the Kabod in New York City or later today. Tell me about that. And instead of like talking about October 7th and talking about the Kabod, Trump said, he said, what's really bullshit? It's bullshit that, I have like the 1-minute clip. We can play it. But he said, it's bullshit that Israel needs to get smart. Like, he's like, why don't the Israeli elites like support me? He's like, it's bullshit that the Israeli elites don't support me because I'm like the best thing that's ever happened to Israel. Why don't these motherfuckers support me? Turns out Ruth Marcus, that woman on there, is an Israeli elite. She's like a hardcore Zionist, and she is like part of like the Israeli diaspora. And she's sitting there railing on Trump. And all I'm sitting there thinking is Hugh Hewitt has just heard from Trump about how
the Israeli elites, like the oligarchy, won't support him despite everything he's bent over backwards for them. And then Ruth Marcus is sitting there lying about Trump, like basically doing everything she can to make sure he doesn't get elected. And it's like Trump's 100% right. This is exactly, he's done everything he possibly could to help these people, and they're still throwing their middle fingers up in his face and saying, "You can never be president."
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
how is that context for him walking out of the thing?
Well, so Hewitt didn't just walk out; he quit the Washington Post after this. So he literally quit. He quit working at the Washington Post after this.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So he
I love how he
literally
said,
was
"I don't want to be."
Like he was like, "Fuck you! I'm done with this place." It's like y'all are a bunch of liars. So the context is that Trump was just explaining to this guy about how subversive and dishonest all these people are, and he's done everything he possibly can to help them. Talking about people like Ruth Marcus, and then they're sitting there right there lying about the election, about election integrity, and he points out that they actually won court cases related to election integrity, and these people are calling him a liar for saying that, and he's like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
Well, they weren't calling him a liar. They were saying that Trump will stop at nothing. And Hughes, like, this was a legit case. They were waiting in line 5 hours and they came out and they're like, polls closed. And Trump sued, the RNC sued, and they won. And they're like saying he'll just sue anybody. So you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. So in 2020, the courts dismissed all their cases. Yeah, but they never actually heard any of them. And now that he's winning cases, they're like, oh, Trump's just suing everybody and he's just going to sue them until, yeah, okay.
So you know what they're doing in Bucks County now? Since they're open an additional 3 days, they've cut the staffing by 90%. So they'll have 1 or 2 people working at one of the voting centers. So now you've got lines that are much, much longer than they were when they were fully staffed. And they're still doing everything in their power to try to make it impossible for people to vote. So I hope that comes up.
This makes that Electoral Count Act 3-judge panel stuff a little more interesting. Telling you guys,
wasn't the extension of Bucks County? Didn't that end today? Or
I mean, they got 3 days. I think that Tuesday was the last day, and then they added 3 days onto that. So yeah, that would have been it.
Because I saw pictures of just huge lines there. Yeah.
What was that?
When was it passed? It
was on. What? Well, I mean, I think that they filed Monday. They won on Tuesday.
She's talking about the Electoral Count Act.
Oh,
that was the part of the 2022 MDAA.
So it was before the new Congress took their seat. So it was Democrat Congress that passed it.
Yeah, let me double check.
Is it the NDAA? I thought it was another omnibus that they threw it in.
It was passed on the 23rd of December, 2022. It was part of the Consolidated Appropriations Act. That's what it was. Yep.
So that's Pelosi or Hakeem. No, which one was it? Yeah, Pelosi.
117th Congress.
Yeah.
On her way out. So looking up real quick, I'm looking at Seth Keshel's numbers on Bucks County, and Bucks County has gone from a Democrat plus 2.1 to a Republican plus 0.8 from 2020 to 2024. So I wonder if Capehart, that's the black guy that was on that, I wonder if he would have the same standpoint if it was, Fulton County or someplace in Georgia after they passed Senate Bill 202, because he's been very critical of voter suppression in Georgia based on Senate Bill 202. But now all of a sudden you're seeing it. And this is the same thing we saw in 2022 with Maricopa County with Carrie Lake. When it's conservatives, when it's white middle and upper class conservatives that are being suppressed at these polls, nobody on the left gives a shit. But you take one middle, lower, and lower class neighborhood, potentially a minority community, and you suppress them, and they will rain nuclear weapons down on top of you.
Ash, can you explain what Holly's saying here?
They hired Harmeet Dillon.
Let me blow it up so I can read it.
Just saw this.
It says, why? So she's asking Harmeet, why the hell did you hire the only lawyer in Colorado with a serious conflict of interest to represent the GOP in suing Jenner Griswold?
Okay, so the letter that was sent to Jenna Griswold's office from the Trump campaign was signed by Scott Gessler Blue. So Scott Gessler's former Republican Secretary of State, who gave us all mail-in ballots in 2013 and then wrote the standard for bringing electronic voting machines into our state, handed it over to Wayne Williams to actually implement voting machines in our state, and he mandated Dominion in all 64 counties. 2 counties sued and won, and so we have 2 counties that have clear ballot and 62 counties that have Dominion voting systems. That guy, who I have said many times on this network and other networks, I very much believe he's the reason we got the insurrection finding in the lower court in the 14th Amendment case, because the reason for the insurrection finding was the J6 report and the substance of the J6 report, and the attorneys did not argue against the substance. They just said, this is political, you can't consider this. And the judge was like, well, yeah, I mean, I get it, but there's witnesses and testimony and evidence and stuff, so I'm going to allow it in. You guys can argue against it, I'll hear it, and I'll decide. I'm the fact finder, I'll decide. They didn't argue against it. They just stuck with it. It's political. J6 was a riot. It's been politicized. You can't rely on any of this. They didn't actually argue against the substance of, the all the stuff that's in the J6 report. And then we ended up with Trump staying on the ballot in the lower court, staying on the ballot, but she found him guilty of insurrection, right? And then oath-breaking insurrectionist and all of that stuff. In my opinion, is directly tied to failure to prosecute, failure to effectively defend against the claims that were made by the prosecution in that case. He then went to the Supreme Court, Colorado Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court justice had asked him, but what about January 6th? This, and this happened. And well, it was a riot. Didn't argue against the substance of the J6 committee, didn't argue against the evidence that was presented in the court. Eventually, at the Supreme Court, it was overturned when Jonathan Mitchell argued, and Scott Gessler was nowhere to be found. Scott Gessler is now back on the scene for President Trump. He has filed the legal action of the Trump campaign against this BIOS passwords things. There are rumors that he's not going to be the guy who carries it forward. That is just the emergency, paperwork that needed to be filed. I don't know, but he should be nowhere near elections or litigation.
So,
in my opinion.
did the RNC join the Libertarian Party of Colorado in their lawsuit to decommission the Dominion machines? Or is that wholly separate?
Not that I have seen yet, but it might have happened, but I haven't seen that. What I've seen is that the Colorado GOP filed the initial letter, strongly worded letter, with a press release and an affidavit from the person who has the files going back till apparently June. And so the GOP kind of broke this in terms of bringing it to the forefront. People are freaking out all over the place. Trump campaign got in second. It wasn't the RNC, I don't believe. It was the Trump campaign that got in, and basically a list of demands. You have to do a new trusted build. You have to do this, this, and this. By the way, they can't do that stuff legally under the statutes. We're in the middle of a live election, but that's what's been asked for. And then today, the Libertarian Party filed a lawsuit, and I read there. It's only 15 pages. People should read it. It's up. It's the top story on coloradofreepress.com. But it's a beautiful thing. The only thing I wish that they would have done was add a request for a special counsel. They say that they want AG Weiser to investigate, and I don't think that should happen. But the Libertarian Party's lawsuit it's pretty solid.
John, I just dropped the PDF to that in there in case you want to pull it up.
How dare you?
John is literally, I just sent you the video you're about to play. I just sent it to you in the chat. I didn't even see it. I didn't even see you pulled it up down there. I swear. Well, you can tell because you're going to play the incomplete version. I sent you the complete version.
How do you know I'm going to play the incomplete version?
Because I could see the version where it's starting at compared to where I'm starting at.
Whatever. So what am I showing here?
Oh, this is the lawsuit that we were just talking about.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to read this right now. So
yeah.
Okay. Well,
I did a great summary of it on thegatewaybundit.com, and Ash did at coloradofreepress.com.
Okay, Ash, can you send us the one to yours?
Wow.
Just kidding. Okay, but yeah, I do want to play
both, and on the lawsuit alone, mine's better. On the overall scope, Ash's is way better.
let's move on to this. I don't know if you guys. Well, I mean, our audience probably has seen this by now, but maybe not. I thought this is
CNN piece.
What?
Dude, play the one I sent you first.
No, let me do it the way I want to do it. Okay, let me play this clip and then let me show you what the media did afterwards. Stop micromanaging.
Always do
CanCon.
it first. Shock factor.
And Cheney was so, he said, I really want to thank you. He said, now I'm so glad that I actually endorsed you. It's amazing, but that you would do this. And I didn't speak to him about it. But then, go a couple of years forward or go now. And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter is a very dumb individual, very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face. They're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. But she's a stupid person. And I used to I'd have meetings with a lot of people, and she always wanted to go to war with people. And Cheney was so, he said, I really want to thank you. He said, now I'm so glad that I actually endorsed you. It's amazing, but that you would do this. And I didn't speak to him about it. But then, go a couple of years forward or go now. And I don't blame him.
Did I let that play through twice? Whoopsie. Okay, here's CNN.
Jonah Goldberg. This is so good.
Yep. And then it'll play the Trump specific comment at the end too. So
I don't think you even need to call it fire department. He's saying quite explicitly and unambiguously that Liz Cheney should be shot, should be executed by polling. It is a small facet of the reasons why he's unfit for office, and the Republican Party has made a disastrous mistake renominating him. All that said, since we're here for the punditry, I don't know what this gets him. Right? If his problem is freaking out suburban women who don't like the chaos, don't like the violent rhetoric and all that kind of stuff, that's just not a great closing argument. Let's execute a political opponent who happens to be a woman because I don't like her. And does that pull more low propensity voters in his coalition to the polls? I honestly don't think so.
So Trump did not say what they're saying. He said if basically she's going to be sending people to war, she should go fight in those wars, right? But that's not the case. And they're saying that Trump says Liz Cheney needs to be put in front of a firing squad. There's a whole bunch of other, like this lady.
But then they go to, because it just so happens to be a woman. Trump's giving her equal treatment as a woman. Trump is giving her equal criticism. She's a fucking war hawk, and he's talking about her the same way that he would talk about any war hawk. And these white eunuchs come in here and they're like, well, she's a woman, so he can't. No, they're misogynists. Did you see he had to walk that back, Joni Goldberg? Did you see his comments?
No.
I have it at the pull in my screen. I have it pulled up. He says, I need to make a statement. This morning on CNN, I referred to Trump's rifles quote as him advocating a firing squad for Liz Cheney. I was reacting in haste to what were objectively appalling and irresponsible comments that had been framed in the setup piece in the context of a previous statements Trump made about shooting protesters and having generals executed. Still, I was wrong to say that he was calling for a firing squad execution. After I said that, my co-panelist, Brad Todd is the guy's name. That's not real. Made the case that I was wrong. Brad was right. And again, I was wrong. Trump was making, albeit in his customary fashion, a different argument about Cheney's alleged foreign policy views and the use of force. I let my disgust at Trump's comments get the better of me, as this was the first time I'd heard them. He goes on, then that's enough of that, but he goes on to say that at the end, he basically said, sorry, I said that, didn't really mean it. So everybody being critical of him is overblowing it, because he already basically said that he was wrong on CNN, but I find it hilarious.
But he's
so
not the only
Trump
one.
deranged.
He's not the only one doing it. They're I'm pretty sure this is her doing it to whatever her name is, Casey Hunt.
Liz Cheney said that he called for her execution.
Violent rhetoric, suggesting one of his most prominent critics, the former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, should be fired upon.
I mean, that's quite the mischaracterization. There's another one if I can find it.
I mean, it has no impact in today's world. I mean, I feel like I'm so desensitized to these obviously false statements. I mean, the same thing with Joe Biden calling Trump supporters garbage. You know, I mean, it's like, oh, is that the worst thing he's called us? I mean, no.
No.
Yeah, I mean, this clip has much more weight to it, folks. Like, this is literally.
I hate this guy too.
This is literally a clip where you have a mockingbird, talking head, leftist regime outlet telling people that Trump said he should put his political rivals in front of a firing squad. And in reality, Trump said something that would resonate more with the American people than just about anything any politician has ever said. And that is, if you're going to send our kids over to war, send your fucking kids over there too. Or better yet, send yourself. And if you haven't, shut the fuck up about war. That is such an impactful message.
Yeah.
And CNN turns it around, and the apology is a joke. It's on X. Nobody's ever going to see it compared to what he said on CNN. That is such a resonating moment right there.
I thought Hank Johnson was a retard. Like, holy shit, these people are so stupid. It's really embarrassing. And I completely agree, Ken. What Trump said was so refreshing to hear. It's what I have said. I've heard other people say it. It's such a resonating truth. That really is the best way to put it. Because these psychopaths are so bloodthirsty. They love killing everything. Like anything that moves, they love just to kill it. It's not just about making money to them. I don't think. I think it really is like a desire to kill.
Yeah. It's amazing how the tide has turned and the sides have flipped, right? Because these are supposedly, the lefties are supposedly anti-war, and when we were going to war in Afghanistan and Iraq, that's all I heard was how George Bush is a war hawk and he's sending people's kids, and why doesn't he send his own kids and all that. Trump makes this statement. And these people have twisted it completely around and missed the whole point. And of course, it's propaganda. Of course, they understand what he was trying to say, but they're never going to give him that.
Rivals. He wants to kill all the dissenters. No, bitch. Just like everything else, you guys misinterpret that as well.
Yes.
Okay, you guys are missing the most important part of this, and that is that Liz Cheney is firmly on the side of Kamala Harris and openly calling for George W. Bush to join her on that side. Democrats are voting for Bush Cheney in this election.
Yeah, it's amazing. And also too, I heard that, and I sort of heard the overtones of a firing squad. I was like, yeah, that's right. She's a war criminal. I mean, she's sent people to war unjustly.
No, but that's
it's totally not the context.
No, I know it's not, but I'm saying if you take what they're saying as true, I'm like, well, yeah, some of these people do need to, we do need to see justice for some of these people. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a firing squad, but I'm just saying, even if you took what they're saying literally, which is ridiculous, but you could say like, yeah, you can make a case for that too, because what they do is so heinous in starting these never ending wars over fabricated reasons and whatnot. I don't know, get what you get.
I understand what you're saying, and in terms of what President Trump said, I mean, obviously, it's so directly in contradiction to everything every other politician has said. They are always so quick to send people out there. My point is that people who know President Trump or have been paying attention even just a little bit, even the people that have just decided that they're going to vote for President Trump, one of the main things I consistently hear people say is that he's the only president who didn't send us into war. And that counts. That really, really counts. And people pay attention to that. So my only really thought about this is like the mainstream media lied. Of course they did. Of course they took his statement, they obfuscated it, and they twisted it into something totally perverse, not what he said. And more importantly, the American people, that doesn't work on them anymore. Like, we already know what President Trump's position is, and he's talking about not sending children off to die for needless things. Whereas, Dick Cheney, Dick Cheney is freaking Darth Vader, right? He has no problem. He shot his friend in the face while they were duck hunting. Okay. I honestly thought that maybe he was going to go there with it when he first started talking about it.
It's crazy, man. But that's the ultimate question: is how many people are their lies still affecting? Because we're a couple days out from an election. That's the only reason they take this story and twist it like that. Like they do anything else. It's to paint Trump in that bad light, the Nazi light, the Hitler light, whatever. Guys, I'm like dying inside. I'm gonna like be going here shortly, unless you guys want to all go.
Let's do rants.
Yeah, let's do rants.
Okay, because I'm feeling icky again.
We don't want you feeling icky.
Yeah.
So while you're pulling those up, one thing about the whole Nazi Hitler thing that I'm wondering is there are so many new Trump supporters, right? There's so many people that have come. So for us, we've been called Nazis over and over again forever, right? But the blowback at that Madison Square Garden thing was so pronounced and just so overblown for a comedian. Speaker at Trump rally says, no, a comedian was doing a set and it was exploited, whatever. I wondered, do you think that was for new Trump supporters, right? People that are just have just pulled the trigger. Do you think it pissed him off, or do you think it had any effect on
the joke?
No, the overt blowback 1939 rally at Madison Square Garden. Everybody's a Nazi.
Dude, just walk around and do the salute to them. Be like, whatever, just embrace it at this point. Fuck them.
Yeah.
I mean, J-Lo came out as like a blonde Aryan woman
to being
today
called Nazis
and was doing the Hitler salute. So, if you saw a picture of it, but yeah,
I think it's the overt Nazi stuff this close to the election. Going back to the Trump rally here in Colorado, there was a screen grab they took, or a picture they took of people doing the prayer. It was like the pastor was like, lift your hands up and worship God. And they took a picture, and all the local influencers said that we were doing the Nazi salute.
Wow.
I think it's to punish people who have switched sides. They've got to redo the Nazi stuff because it doesn't work on us anymore.
The Hitler Nazi stuff is so overblown. I don't think it moves the needle at all. I think it's a sign of desperation that's their only game plan right now.
Sure.
And I just don't think it changes anybody's minds. If anything, there's probably backlash to it. It's just so overblown.
I have a specific theory about why the first day that he ran for office, they called him Hitler. And I think it has to do with what's being saved for last, the oligarchy that kind of controls Congress, and their fear that if he comes after them, what they're going to say about him in order to stop him, in order to deter people from supporting what he's doing. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, while
I'm
it's
shocked
fresh,
that's your take, Ghost.
Right. While it's fresh, Keith O'Higgins has the best Rumble rant. I want to know what kind of firing squad supplies their target with a rifle, maybe a circular firing squad like they had in Poland. And that was the first thing I caught when they said that is Trump was like, why don't we with her rifle? And it's no firing squad gives you a rifle to fire back. But anyways, good.
All right, I'm gonna read the rants, guys. Sup CHG17JK. Yeah, John, you look like garbage. Thank you. I feel like it.
Very nice.
And Carolina Girl 24, happy birthday, Chris. Call him and sing to him. I'm not going to do that. Not on air anyway. Looking forward to
totally do that.
You go ahead, man. Looking forward to spending election day with all of you. Where we go on, we go all. Yeah, make sure you guys.
If we're calling Chris on the air, we're asking him if he agrees with.
I already messaged him. I was like, did you agree with him? And then he asked if I saw the thing, and he said there's the same thing he always says. And I said, I know, but somehow he took that as you agreeing with him. And I said, sure, it's possible that he's doing some good op, but without knowing that, what's visible is that he's strengthening the election rigging apparatus and won't answer obvious questions about why. So he did not agree with you. He just said what he always says. Anytime it's like, well, yeah, it's possible. But then he lays out all the reasons what he actually thinks. And
well, I also said that we might be thanking or saying we were wrong. I didn't say thanking him.
He went Switzerland on it.
What's that?
He went Switzerland on it.
Yeah, but I went Switzerland too. If this turns out to be like a Mondale landslide, I'm all about saying
y'all are just a couple of Swiss chocolate eating motherfuckers, huh?
You opened it by saying, I got Chris to say. I got Chris to say that we might
That we might
him a
owe
present.
him an apology.
I think the
That's
answer
not
was, and
Switzerland,
Chris
bro.
agreed with me. And
Yeah.
Chris agreed with me. I'm pretty sure it's
And
what
he did
the
agree that we
statement
might owe him
was.
apology. He says, yeah.
Appealing to authority. I think they call it appealing to authority when it comes to persuasive
CanCon, what
argument,
you
yeah.
did was tantamount to what CNN did.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, that is such bullshit.
And now you're walking it back like
You know what?
Goldberg
I have
did.
powers. I can kick Zach out for that. I'll bring him back.
Anyway, happy birthday, Chris.
I took him out. Yeah, but happy birthday, Chris. Somebody call. Mateo127, Ash, you would be proud. I work at Swedish Hospital in Inglewood. So many rainbow flags in Kamala and T-ball signs. Last 2 weeks, Mega has been coming out. Flags, posters, silent, no more. Hollow.
People are getting brave and people are pissed here. And the thing is, it's not like that Washington Post thing, right, where they're like, Trump is already laying the groundwork where he's going to steal the election. It's not election deniers that are pissed about this in Colorado. It's everyone. And there's all different factions that are now not just pissed about it, but filing legal action. And even Democrats are throwing Jenna Griswold under the bus. Now, I do have a bit of a tinfoil hat, theory that they're going to use this to really accelerate ranked choice voting after they steal the election for ranked choice voting. We've got to get rid of this system. Obviously, it doesn't work, ranked choice voting. But for right now, it's nice to see a lot of people talking about elections and supporting Trump, openly supporting Trump in the state of Colorado. It's a good thing. Thanks for the rant.
Did you say tinfoil fat?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
It's possible.
Just
It's
wanna make sure I heard
absolutely
that right.
possible. That's what I said.
I wasn't 100% sure. But now we're going with it. Okay, Denise and 2. I need to tell my dad and sister to leave Florida before it sinks into the Atlantic. Hope you can get out too, Ryan.
It sure looks like it's about to capsize any minute.
North Carolina Gal 24. CanCon, do you think you could send me a hat before you fall into the ocean?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Spunky Patriots 1776. Ash going on in Colorado. And there's we talked about that.
Grab the link.
If you're following
what
Ash
is
on
it?
Twitter, she's all over it. It says multiple El Paso County
Yeah.
voting machines compromised after password leak.
Yeah.
If you hear about something happening in Colorado, then Ash was already there.
Like a week
It's-
prior to you hearing about it. Probably.
It's 63 of 64 counties and both election vendors that are compromised.
And how long were they online? Like 5 months?
At least
That's
since,
June.
so we don't, the earliest that we know is confirmed is June. The file was created in May, but we don't know when they were exactly posted on the internet, but we know that they were there for they were up on the website during the primary, during Tina's trial, during all of the logic and accuracy testing and everything that happened in the run up to this election and during the active voting period of this election. Those passwords were live on the website, unencrypted in plain text.
That is a crime. People should be arrested.
Has the libertarian case been assigned a judge yet? Is it that far
No.
along?
Just
No.
filed.
Okay.
I'll have to check on that.
Yeah.
It is stamped by the court, so it has been
Okay.
filed. But I that would be very fast
Okay.
on a Friday. That would be very fast. 'Cause it was
Right.
just
I mean,
filed today.
I thought about that, but I mean, just considering the time constraints that we have here, I mean, they might move it along quickly.
Yeah, well, they should do. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. North Carolina Gal, if you haven't watched Alpha's show, what does Dark MAGA mean? I suggest everyone watch it and be prepared. Probably won't watch it, but thanks for the hint. Q of Swords 3. I think there will be a cyber attack on 11/5 and they will stop the election. It's possible.
Well, I hope they don't do it like in the super early part of the day because I'm planning on voting in the morning. So
You should have voted extra hard and extra early, like you were told.
nope,
Ash.
nope. Because if they disenfranchise my vote, I'm gonna raise a lot of hell about it.
But will it be enough hell to make a difference?
I'm voting on
Does
Tuesday to
does
subvert
anything
the
make a
narrative that
difference?
men don't vote.
Nice.
But hey,
Oh, so
Connie-
you haven't voted yet either, Ghost?
No.
And Zach, you already have, right?
Yeah, I voted.
Yeah.
I did. I wasn't going to. I
Half
might
and
just like go on Tuesday if I'm feeling better, just to like go through the line again. But I should go try to
I
vote
mean-
twice, see if they let me.
No,
I mean,
don't do that.
No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
We're going to be doing so much election coverage on Tuesday. It's like I didn't want to hassle with it.
Yeah.
It starts at 1 in the afternoon, though. Polls open at 7 a.m. So, and
yeah.
the polling
Good.
place is like a block and a half from my house. So,
What if it's a long line?
Then I'll wait in a long line.
Voter suppression. Yeah. Well, then who's going to run?
I want to be the first person there because the last time I voted, I was the 100th person. And I know that I can't like recreate that, but they were really excited about it because I guess 100 in-person voters is a lot for them. And so I figured I can't be the 100th person this time because I couldn't, rig that in my favor, but I can try and be the first.
Are you gonna like go camp out overnight or something?
Yeah, like a Trump rally.
Yeah.
Skinner
Right. Digital Marine. Is it possible white hat Halloween display, panda, pizza, chicken, etc. is a nod to us, or White House, not white hat, demonstrating clearly control structure is outside normalcy. Thank you for your loyalty. Now hold my beer to us.
That would be awesome.
That'd be cool.
Interesting observation.
You guys saw the I know we all talked about the Halloween party, but like the guy with the freaking pizza box around his neck.
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, I did not see that one.
Yeah, the little kid that was a Ninja Turtle.
Oh,
His son was a Ninja Turtle.
Oh,
Yeah,
he was a
that's
Ninja Turtle. Okay, well, there's
No, he was with a kid that was a Ninja Turtle.
What are
A
we talking
grown
about?
ass man had a box of pizza around his neck, holding the hands of a child that was dressed as a Ninja Turtle.
I'm going to assume it's his son.
Yeah,
That's a big assumption at that
That is
party.
not
with
a big
Jill Biden,
assumption. That's
with
a-
Jill Biden dressed as a fucking panda.
Dude, the panda thing
Same
was
party.
the panda thing was a little over the top.
You
Panda
guys
was
haven't seen this? I'm gonna find it.
No,
Seen
I've
it a
seen
little
it,
bit about
yeah.
the
Seemed
panda
a little
thing,
crazy.
the panda pedophile thing on Breaking History too.
Not the panda.
We're gonna get to the
pizza
point
part.
where like anybody walking around with their kid, it's gonna be like, is you a pedophile? Because you're with a little child.
It's also possible,
At
like
the White House. I would hope he got through security and they're like, okay, that is actually your dad.
if the QAnon stuff, the QAnon stuff, I believe is real, right? And then the enemy, I believe, knows this, and so they do stuff like this to get everybody talking about the claims that get demonized the most.
Yeah,
Hillary
and
just
that's what everybody's
said we're
talking
gonna-
about.
Hillary just mentioned Pizzagate like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Wow.
But
Pull
do
it
you
in
really
real
think
quick,
it's
just so you
to
can
their
show people
advantage
what we're
to
talking
bring
about.
that stuff up? I mean, if I'm Hillary, I don't want anybody talking about Pizzagate. I don't even want to bring that back to anybody's attention.
No, but it's a narrative that they can. To me, this is the narrative
To
that they
make
can
us look
use to make
stupid.
us everybody sound crazy.
It's true. It's true.
Really?
Yeah,
You
I
think
can
this
see
makes us sound crazy?
I
You
don't
think
know. He
this
does kind of look like
pointing
a
th-
pedo, allegedly.
pointing this out makes us sound crazy?
It's a weird outfit, that's for sure.
But it's still a Ninja Turtle, and like
I mean,
so.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
a
true.
What is-
child.
but what-
Is that a real?
what-
Is that real pizza though? Like, guys,
What is that guy supposed to be?
A pizza
supposed to
bug.
be-
The
Ninja
Ninja
Turtles
Turtles
and
were
pizza.
obsessed with pizza.
They were. I know
Yeah.
because I love
Yeah.
the Ninja Turtles.
I'm
and
sure
I-
it was all
okay.
very
I
it was
didn't
all
watch
very
those.
innocent at the White House Halloween party with Jill
With the
Biden. Jill Biden dressed up as a panda and the
and
pizza
Joe
and the
eating all the
chickens
kids.
and
Yeah.
I forget I'm older than you guys. I was like getting drunk at college parties while you guys were watching Ninja Turtles. That was after my time.
Are we
You-
like the same
you
age,
boomer.
Patriot?
No, I'm older than you, Zach. I'm older than you by quite a few.
Hanging
Quite
out
a
with
few,
bunch of young
actually.
kids, Patriot.
You
What does
guys
that
are
say
all
about you?
youngsters. You're all babies.
CanCon, do you have the rants pulled up?
I do.
Can you take over for me? I gotta go get some medicine, man. I'm dying.
Go get
I'll catch you guys
medicine.
later.
John.
I got
John.
this. Hold on. Let me share my screen instead. What are we on? We're on card.
Dirk.
This one.
Dirk
Present.
Dirk McGurkin's one was the
All
next
right.
I mean, Jay, how do you know we weren't drinking beer watching Ninja Turtles, man? I mean, come on.
If you did what I did, you would be.
Holy crap. What
I'm
order
drinking
was he
pretty
going?
young.
See, if I was the
He
dad,
was
I would have
going
gone as
bottom up.
Casey Jones. That would have made more
He's going
sense.
Bottom.
I thought he was going bottom up.
He was definitely not going bottom up. Did he start with Mateo 127?
We did that one.
And 42.
We did the next one. We did.
I think maybe these are in the
All right,
opposite
so we were on
direction.
Digital Marine. So Dirk McGurkin says they, White Hats, want to have them steal it so they can engage in exposure of corruption in the judicial system, in my opinion.
It's a possibility.
Well, I think they want to get them stealing it from a different angle. We got the mail-in steal in 2020. Now we're going to get the in-person steal in 2024. Are they going to be able to fake it enough? I don't think so.
You know, if they do an exposure operation, I would, from my perspective, it's just to fully reveal to the rest of America that didn't believe us in 2020 that the theft is real and the election system is broken. I mean, I think that there's a lot of people who did not vote for Trump in 2020 who thought we were crazy when we said it was stolen. They're going to vote for him this time. And then in their own lives, they're going to, hey, me and every single person I know voted for Donald Trump. How did Kamala Harris get 50 50 million gorillion extra votes or something.
Correct.
Yeah.
NC Gal 24 says call Chris Paul so we can wish him a happy birthday. You call him and wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Christopher.
It's 11:30 at night on his birthday night, and he's probably predisposed. Karina Dan 21 says got my GART virtual ticket today. Hope to go in person someday. And we hope to see you someday.
We hope to see you there someday. Yeah.
Ton of fun.
Check out the schedule on the website. 2025 is written in stone.
Yeah, and everybody get your Myrtle Beach virtual tickets. You get access to the Telegram chat. You get all the content on demand. You get it live and on demand. Afterwards, was behind the scenes content you get when you're a virtual ticket holder. It's a absolutely fantastic time. So
Myrtle Beach is gonna be fire.
Vegas is one of my favorite places in the world, and like we all get to go there.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be so
Badlandsmedia.tv/events, everyone.
It's gonna be so cool. All right, nobody 777 says the election process could be the ultimate countermeasure of distraction. Many pieces are on the move globally. Like half of the globe is gonna go to an election this year. So
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
it's huge. Dirk McGurkin, ask yourself what additional waking up still needs to happen that will inform you about what will happen with the election. I think that's the final wake up for a lot of people is the election.
Yeah, agreed.
Make art good again. In August, the Venezuelan gang's story breaks, giving Trump an excuse to come to Colorado to put a spotlight on the state. A few weeks later, this password story breaks. Interesting timeline. Ghosts.
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is episode 117. I just noticed that.
Is it
really?
Yeah, look at the top. On the top of the.
Did you guys all see Brad's post? The video he made today.
The 777 thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny on my Inside J6 podcast, I just interviewed a J6er that got out that was in the Senate chamber. He was one of the guys that was around Jacob Chansley, the QAnon shaman. And he had 117 in his handle. And I was like, oh, are you a Master Chief fan, a Halo fan? And he's like, no. The 117 actually had something to do with God. And he's like, anytime you see 117, think of God. And that was this past Wednesday. And here I am 2 days later, and this is episode 117.
Check it out.
That's nuts, man. Okay.
But to respond to that rant, I do agree that I think that information does get fed to hungry journalists at opportune moments to get the headlines out there. So then once the headlines are out there, then Trump and whoever else can, make it go viral with the algorithm and then talk about it and all that. So yeah, I do think the ghost and the machine do that kind of stuff.
Is that why when somebody sends me a story and tells me don't publish this yet, and then 3 days later somebody publishes it, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? You told me don't publish
Exactly.
it. That happens all the time.
Dude,
like
your CIA handler is just slacking. That's why.
It happens a lot.
Yesterday. That's okay though. I'd rather be right than first. Gator Rob, this may be stupid. This may be a stupid question. Does campaign war chest of funds transfer to be used in post-election lawfare? I think it's odd if she really has raised so much money, she's conserving it anywhere. Yes, it does transfer. It pretty much goes to, I think, their personal, like that money is whatever they want to do with it once the election's over.
So corrupt.
It's so corrupt, unbelievably corrupt. The Abbott theory, the Abe theory, John does have a soothing voice.
Yeah, but he's not so nasally.
I don't know who they're talking about because they spelled his name with an H.
And he also can't pronounce half the words in the English language.
You need to be real careful.
Shut up. Get rid of her.
God.
I knew you were going to say that right away. Pilot Bryce says, I just saw Trump grab that dong and act like he was deep throating it. Hilarious. Now I'm horny. 140 to 215 clip. All right, we might have to watch this.
I have no idea what that's about.
I have no idea. I'm going to pre-screen it. Stand by. I'm pre-screening.
What?
While you're pre-screening Black Hat Destroyer, is it legal to look up if a citizen voted and who they voted for? I asked because I keep getting wrong number texts from Kamala's team in Detroit, and they mentioned some website, didmyfriend.vote. I don't know. I'm definitely looking into that website.
You can. I think you can definitely look up whether somebody voted in an election. I don't think you can look up who they voted for because that would
You
kind of
definitely cannot.
No, you definitely can't.
That would
Yeah.
defeat the purpose of like the whole, confidentiality.
Yeah, that's messed up though. Denise and too. I went to election judge training today, and one of our two early voting centers is right across the street. Both locations were 2 to 3 hour wait times. I've never waited more than a couple of minutes. Interesting. Yeah, long lines, early voting. It's I would not wait in that line.
There was
it on election day. I would. Right? Because then I don't have other
You have
days
no
to vote. But
choice,
if
yeah.
I'm looking at a 4-hour line, I'm coming back later.
I had about a 10-minute line when I went to vote. And what's interesting is that there were definitely more people there early voting than I had ever seen on election day. Like anytime I went to my precinct, I walked right in, got the ballot, voted, and just walked right out. There was a lot of people.
Yeah. Good.
Mm-hmm.
I think more people voting favors us.
It does. Yes.
All right.
And I
Jim
live in a
from me says,
conservative area.
I took a picture of my ballot in the window before I cast it. That's probably not legal. Just going to throw that out there.
I took a picture of mine too.
I
Screw
would
it.
too. Exactly. Not gonna lie. Crane Op says, "Happy birthday, Chris. A man with integrity is a rare commodity nowadays." John, did you remember to go to sleep early? Because he's
out of here.
Black
He
Hat
did remember
Destroyer
that.
says, "No one in their right mind will ever say about Ben Shapiro being right. That little jackass will go down as one of the many in the media to pay a severe price for their sins." And that's how you know Chris was actually agreeing with me. Because then
For fuck's sake, Brian.
because then he said Ben Shapiro
Let it go,
could be right. And me and him were both like, yeah, never mind. That's not even possibly true.
Yeah.
JB Rao says, or JBR Al or JB Rao says, 3 times somebody has voted for me before election day. I voted early this time.
What?
Whoa,
That's
really?
definitely illegal.
So he's saying he gets provisional ballots when he goes.
Well, yeah, because like there were a lot of stories in 2020 about people showing up to vote,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Oh, you've already cast your vote. You can't vote again."
Yeah, I'm sorry. If that happens to you, you call the
Oh,
police,
God.
you make a police
Yeah.
report, you're dealing with identity theft and all sorts
Yeah.
of other crimes. It's not just oh, whoopsie, there's a clerical error. No, somebody has stolen your identity and stolen your vote.
I
If
know. I
that
hear this.
happens to
You hear
you,
this
raise
story.
hell.
Yeah,
You hear
run
this
that-
story
run
every
that down.
election, and these people just like walk away, like, "Oh, okay." You know,
No.
like, what? Are you seriously? Like, how do you not raise hell about that?
Don't be Nick Freitas from Freitas or whatever from Virginia, who rolled over and showed his belly when Abigail Spanberger pulled a thumb drive out at 2 a.m. that had 15,000 votes, all for her, the CIA agent soccer mom, and won the election after she was trailing him the entire day. This was in 2020.
Call your
Yeah.
sheriff, file a police report.
100%.
SM Fink says, "Stood in line wearing my red Badlands hoodie for over 3 hours to vote in Oklahoma on 10/30. Love y'all."
Based.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Big rant there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Thank
SM
you.
Fink.
Thank you.
Etho Higgins, can we call Colorado a 17 alarm fire? Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. The rest of the guys in here, because J-Tree and John didn't know. Do you know how many alarms there are? Brian, you were here for that too, right?
I think it's 5-alarm fire is what I've always heard.
For a
That's what I think
fire,
too.
I think it's 5. Isn't it 5-alarm fire?
Maximum amount of alarms is 5.
I think so.
Dirk McGurkin,
Yeah.
maybe you can pick up some boats when they auction off P. Diddy's stuff next year. It might be in Miami, so I'll be down there.
That's it, man. We'll have our
It could be our
studio.
Gart yacht.
I am not going to use any of the baby oil because it might be GBH or GHB.
GHB. Yeah, no.
Although that
Talk
could
to
be
Patrick,
fun
he might
if I'm in
want
a
it.
safe. If I'm in a safe place, that could be fun.
Oh,
If I'm in a safe place, like no, there's no safe place to use that. 1027 JS, enjoying Liberty Den. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the rant.
Supercharged 17 JK, nothing better than some trigger time. We're gonna get a lot of that at Myrtle Beach.
Oh yeah.
It's the timing is so awesome for this
And
because
I think
there's
that was
just
planned
gonna be
purposely, right? Right after the
so much
election.
to talk about.
Mm.
Well, yeah, I know.
When are y'all going shooting?
I rented a Humvee to drive up there just in case shit hits the fan.
Nice.
I'm just kidding. We got
An H1 or an H3?
No, we got No, an H1, dude. A Humvee. There's only one Humvee.
Oh no, I thought you said a Hummer. I'm sorry.
No, I said a Humvee. There's
I was
only
gonna say
one
because
Humvee.
an H3 is like the soccer mom version of a Hummer, right?
No. An H1 ain't shit. It's an H. A Humvee is where it's
Humvee.
at.
A Humvee's a Humvee. I thought you said Hummer. Yeah.
Nah. Jip Shea says GP Shea says someone had the gal to put people that don't know what a woman is and pedo/political signs on the road on my property. What do each of you feel should be my response?
Well, if it's your property, then you have every right to remove them. So I think you should tell the person who did it that they're not allowed to set foot on your property or put up signs you disagree with. And then you should probably burn them in a public display.
I would put a big sign right behind them that says like violators will be shot without warning. And then when they come out to remove this, no, I'm totally kidding. If that's legal in your state, then go for it. If it's not legal, don't
threatening
go.
to shoot people.
You could not threatening. There is no threat. There is no threat.
I'm confused. So they're saying that somebody came to their house and like out by the road, put a sign like by the road in front of their house.
Yes. Replace
on
the entire.
My recommendation is to walk outside, pull the sign up, and then go put it in your garbage can. That's what I would do.
I would
maybe
replace
burn it.
them with Trump
Maybe burn
signs.
it just for good measure. But yeah.
You know what you do is put a big ass Trump sign in front of it and then run an underground wire to a 220 outlet.
Yes. I was going to say the same thing.
And so when they go to remove it so that their sign is visible, they just like, it's like, yo, what the fuck you touching my property for, homie?
Did you see the one? And I have no idea if it was real or contrived, but the one where the guy's driving over the Trump signs and one of them has nails at the bottom of it. And and he ends up with a flat tire and then he loses his shit. I don't know if that's a real video or whatever, but it was hilarious.
It's a meme because people kept running over their Trump signs in their yards. So then they took a 2x4 and they put nails on it underneath the Trump sign. And then they took pictures of the guy who ran, like the signs are all flattened. And then down the road, there was a guy getting out of his car and all of his tires are popped.
That was so great.
Yeah.
I would just, I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. Wild Boar 17 says, don't think the Dems will call fraud by machines when Trump wins with over 345 electoral votes. Watch this. I can copy it, but I'm not going to play it because it's probably too long. But I think you're right. I think I was doing the math today and like the most recent polling is 312, but that doesn't include New Mexico, New Hampshire, or potentially Virginia. I think Trump will get one of those. So I'm thinking like 322, I think is the number I'm at.
Well, you have to make your bracket for election day. So
we should do that. Are we going to do that?
Read the chat, Brian. Read the election night coverage chat.
You people think I read the chats. It's so cute.
The only thing with Virginia that I worry about a little bit, Virginia should go red like in a free and fair election. But the thing I kind of worry about with this whole Youngkin narrative, and I hold out hope that it's all genuine and it's all like good, but there are things that Youngkin and Miara's our attorney general have done quietly that worry me. Like they went after the Loudoun County superintendent for the pedophile thing. Remember the tranny bathroom rape thing? And then they quietly dropped the charges later and like very under the radar. They like over several months they like slowly dropped all the charges and then just dismissed everything, let the guy walk away. So I worry a little bit that this the voter roll thing was 1,600 names. Like it's not that many names in the grand scheme of things. My concern is that they're going to steal it in Virginia, and then they're basically like Youngkin's going to be able to say, well, we did everything we could. We purged the voter rolls. We just didn't do enough. Shucks, guys, we'll get it next time. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. But
we just need to turn out more voters.
Yeah. I mean, Youngkin. Yeah, exactly. Youngkin the whole thing just kind of feels like an op to like convince people that Republicans just don't really have what it takes to win in Virginia. I don't know.
Yeah. So where'd it go? Shit. I want to. So Rose This Art says you can't quit us, CanCon. I wasn't talking about you guys in the chat. I was talking about their little chat. The
chat where we're planning election night coverage for Badlands. That's the chat that Brian says he doesn't read.
It's not that I don't read it. It's just I don't read it every day.
Roll it back.
The election integrity guy is not reading the election night planning thread. Got it.
Bro, don't you know I just shoot from the hip everywhere I go? I shoot from the hip. I shoot from the hip. True Deplorable says, did you see Trump hired a Colorado law firm and sent Team Jenna a demand letter? Shared in comments on Ash's X post. Yeah, we've it's not really a demand letter. Well,
it's Trump, and that Trump hired a Colorado law firm. It's actually Trump hired Harmeet Dillon, and Harmeet Dillon contracted with Scott Gessler, and Scott Gessler is the guy that wrote the standard for Dominion and gave us all mail-in ballots. So
exactly,
and lost the Colorado Supreme Court.
Whoa! Back up! And Harmeet Dillon hired that guy.
Huh?
Yeah,
this is the second case that they've partnered on here. They also partnered on the 14th Amendment case.
Wild Boar,
and as a reminder, Jonathan Mitchell won that case at the U.S. Supreme Court.
Wild Boar 17 says, and we want that.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I mean, I'm not even surprised. Old School 69. Trump walked away in 2020 to avoid a civil war. Normies who know nothing about devolution will lose their fucking minds and do not want to hear anything about waiting 1 to 2 months to fix it. Perhaps. Denise Ann, System of a Down, said BYOB. Why do they always send the poor? Trump was absolutely right. Cheney is a horrible human being. I agree.
Absolutely. I take no exception to that statement.
I think that comment should be spread far and wide. This is what the mainstream media thinks. This is what they tell you to think. And this is what Trump actually said. This is something we all fucking agree with. And this is something that we would all be enraged by, but is an absolute lie. That is the epitome of the media today.
Yeah. Well, and the point of what I was making earlier about what Trump told Hugh Hewitt a month ago is that Trump said like he was about to negotiate peace with Iran. That's pure signal to me that, all of this rhetoric about fighting Iran that Trump's been, kind of leaning into a little bit is all bullshit. That's all WWF kayfabe. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, how many times has he said you've got to be willing to do something and you've got to be open to letting them know about it? I mean, he has to lead with the strength. Otherwise, if they think that nothing's going to happen, then they have no fear.
Well, as I pointed out to CanCon on Badlands Daily the other day, remember May 24th, 2018, Trump canceled the North Korea summit, called Kim Jong-un fat and stupid, and said he's too hostile to deal with. I can never be friends with that guy. Yep. 3 weeks later, June 12th, walked across the DMZ with him.
Yes. Yeah, but you forgot, Gordon. In the meantime, in that 3-week period, the mainstream media said this guy's a fucking lunatic. He's going to get us in World War III and all this other shit. And all of us were sitting back saying, and I didn't know you guys back then, but I was sitting back saying, just relax. He's got this. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's like walking away from a deal. You're like, you don't want to buy my car for $35,000. It's worth $15,000. No, I don't want to buy it for $35,000. I'm leaving. And you walk away. And the guy's like, wait. Come back.
Yeah. Art of the deal. Art of the deal. That's how he works.
Exactly. Art of the deal. Exactly. And nobody else saw that apparently.
I think it was more WWF because I think the strings were cut. I mean, Q posted like months before that, like, thank you, Kim. Like, we're good. Strings cut. Deal done. See you soon.
2018 was post Rodman, right?
Oh yeah,
that was after Rodman.
Rodman went there. I think
in like 2015.
Rodman went there in 2014. It was either 14 or 15, and then he went back in 2016 with the Art of the Deal book and said, "Read this book." And then Kim Jong-un was like, "Oh yeah, like I know, like I grew up in school, going to school in Europe. Like I know all about Donald Trump. He's a badass. Love that guy."
All right. Let's keep going here. Keith O'Higgins, I wanted to know what kind of firing squad supplies their targets with a rifle. We read that one. Maybe a circular firing squad like they had in Poland. Black Hat Destroyer, isn't it interesting that we didn't get some pearl-clutching, butt-puckering, high-fiving, knee-slapping October surprise that we thought we were going to get from either Trump or the deep state? No, I think just nobody fucking believes their October surprise anymore. Like 10 years
Trump
ago.
is Hitler.
No. Like 10 years ago, that Hitler story or the woman coming out and saying, I was groped would have meant something. And now we're just like, fuck you, man.
Well, I mean, the woman who alleged that Trump groped her, we debunked that in real time because her timeline didn't make any sense. Epstein didn't own that fucking brownstone. So she was, and there's video of her at that age, that same year, saying that she hasn't dated anyone in years. Immediately lost all credibility.
Well, so the brownstone thing was I saw the alternative to that it was tied up in like a not a I don't want to say a trust, but several names were on the deed. I don't know.
Well,
It doesn't matter. The bottom line is, and I said this on Badlands Daily, if you wait 31 fucking years to say something, you're not a victim. You're an opportunist.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all that needs to be said about
Sorry,
that.
guys. Badlands Media fan, it's good to see you in Rumble Rants and not just responding to every single comp. No, I'm just kidding. That's not you. I understand that. Hope you get a good night's. You guys don't see that? Like, we have people that make up fake Badlands accounts, like Badlands 000, and they're like, we're so glad you reached out to us. Email us at badlandsmedia@protonmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's bots. It's bots. Badlands Media fan says, hope you get a good night's sleep at Patel Patriot and wake up and feel refreshed tomorrow.
That's the word.
Sweet dreams, John.
Yeah, sweet dreams.
Good
Gambell,
night, sweet prince.
Don't put a P under your pillow. Great show, baddies. When Trump wins, I would like to see RP celebrate in plaid.
I can do that.
Dude, I saw a video the other day. I forgot, somebody posted on X or something of you, Zach, from like 2019, and you weren't wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Yes.
And maybe
Oh, it was
maybe you weren't
flannels,
tan. There was something about you. It looked totally different. You look like a totally different person. I was
He
like,
had the
oh,
flannel
who
look
is that guy?
before.
Yeah, I was living in Michigan, so I was either wearing hoodies or flannels, and I didn't hardly go outside. And when I did, there wasn't a lot of sun because it was Michigan.
You
And
were,
I had
you were
different glasses.
pasty and you were wearing a flannel, and I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but that is definitely not Red Pill 78.
My beard is also now almost totally white, and it was all brown before, or blonde, I guess.
Zach is the epitome of the Florida transplant. And I love him so much for it.
Dude, he went full Miami Vice. It's
That's
awesome.
right.
Bro, he is the epitome.
It was
dude's on
Flynn.
the beach
I think
every
Flynn
day.
retweeted a video of you talking to him or something like that from
Oh,
years
right on.
ago. It was something like that.
Probably when we went, me and Zach both met him at the event.
Yep.
A while back. All right. Keith O'Higgins says, with the election machine password hack, do you get a free hammer or scorecard? Keck.
Nice.
And that huge Trump train in Colorado tomorrow. I-25, 8 a.m. Fort Collins to Cabela's Littletown meetup. Ash, we need love.
Nice.
Yeah, that's further north than I am, but maybe I'll check. I'm probably not gonna.
Yeah. The Abet theory.
Thanks for your
21.
honesty.
About the walking. Go ahead.
I'm really tired. I'm sorry.
The about the Walking Dead season 1, they told us that everyone was already infected with the zombie virus. Michael Rappaport explains it. Also, they were at the CDC.
Correct, but I don't think it was Michael Rappaport. It was a different actor, pasty, still had freckles and reddish hair. He was in The Americans. Hold on. But yes, it's true. We are already infected.
I know what guy you're
Everybody
talking
was
about from The
infected.
Americans. Yeah, the ginger
Stan.
from The Americans. Yeah.
Stan, I think his name was.
Michael Rappaport will forever be Remy to me.
Was it that early in Walking Dead that we found out that everybody was affected?
Yeah, they got to the CDC at the very end.
remember-
And that, yeah.
Right. I remember that. I just
And
didn't
remember
think
when
it
the
was
first
early.
person that like died like in the middle of the night, and then
Yeah,
they
they
just
came back.
turned and they were like, "Oh shit!" They didn't get bit or anything.
Noah Emmerich. That's his name.
Bro, I'm so all about the zombie apocalypse, man.
Me too. I love it. Have you been watching? Well, we'll talk off here, but
You live in Florida. Don't you already experience that on a regular basis?
Dude, I low key like have like fantasies of the only responsibility I have being surviving. Like, imagine a life
low-key.
where your only responsibility in the whole world is to survive. That is glorious. That is true freedom.
Dude, I'm apparently just as obsessed because I actually watched Walking Dead till the bitter end, and I'm watching all the damn spinoffs. Even though that show jumped the shark like after season.
Oh,
4, I
wait,
think.
you're still watching The Walking Dead?
Oh, dude, I completely like. I hate myself for it. Like all my friends like jumped off board like a long time ago, and I was like, man, I got to see what happens to Rick and Michonne, and I rationalize it. And I just like watch it. And
Didn't
it's
Rick
such
die a long
garbage.
time ago, though?
Died like
No. There's a whole new spinoff about what
Rick
happened.
is not dead.
Right.
Rick came back in a spinoff called The Ones Who Live. That's what I was going to ask about.
didn't die.
They've got a Rick and
Watch the whole
Michonne.
thing.
No, he
Oh my
doesn't
God, I might
die. He
actually
doesn't
watch
die.
Watch the
He
whole thing.
survives.
Yeah. When the bridge blows up, he survives, and that chick that was like in charge of that, like all the trash can people. Remember, like she had that. She like picks him up in a helicopter, and that's the last we see of him. And now there's a whole damn spinoff on it, and it's god awful. But
oh God, I really liked it. I thought The Ones Who Live was good. I thought Dead City was good. I thought
Dead City was good. Dead City was good. No, you know what I didn't like about I guess I just didn't like the love story with Rick and Michonne. It was just like every minute they're kissing, and it's just like, okay, like there was too much of that and not enough like of the story for me. Like I don't know. It wasn't bad.
Rick and Michonne was the deal breaker for me. It was everything was about Negan versus Rick. It's like there's no.
Oh no, I'm talking about the spinoff, CanCon. I'm talking about.
I stopped watching when Carl died.
Okay,
these are all these are all different shows. Are these all different like?
Yeah, there's Dead City. There's the Ones Who Survive.
So
Dead City
Daryl Dixon is good too.
Daryl Dixon. Daryl's in France, and then there's like
how did you get to France in the zombie apocalypse?
and Carol got
the show.
there
You'll
too,
see.
yeah.
You'll see.
Oh my gosh! All right, let's
way
move
too
on.
much
Yeah,
investment.
Let's finish. Let's finish.
Too much Walking Dead. I hate myself.
We should make a Badlands show interpreting The Walking Dead in its entirety. All right. Lily Flower says, quote, the case was assigned late Friday to Denver District Court Judge Candace C. Gerdes with a hearing set for Monday afternoon, Colorado politics.
Okay. Now I want to dig on her. Hopefully she's not a Biden appointee.
Why do you assume it's a her?
Hey, I won in front of a Biden appointee.
Okay.
You did. The
Fair
first
enough.
LGBTQ Biden appointee west of the Mississippi.
That's right.
B 1876 says the choice to know will be yours. That was at 12:22, so that was recently. I don't know what it's a reference to. Mateo 127 says God is great, beer is good, and P. Doubler is fucked. Maha.
He said diddler, not doubler.
I said diddler, didn't I?
No, you said Dudler.
Oh, and P. Diddler is fucked. Maybe I was getting ready for the fucked. I was emphasizing the fucked.
Yeah.
City Girl Gone Country says my best friend's husband writes the news for the anchors at CNN, and he believes all the lies. Y'all give me so much info to debate with him. Thanks for all you do. Hey, I'll tell you what. Have your husband's, whatever, your friend's husband and his boyfriend come on Badlands Daily and debate any one of us on anything you want.
My God,
Open invitation. I will take you on. You want to talk election integrity? I am calling him out. He can air it everywhere. I've been dying to get one of these Mockingbird cucks to come in and debate me.
Well, soon they will be so relevant they will be looking for those kind of opportunities. So,
yeah, maybe I need to walk off and like one day just be like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out. And then it'll be a viral clip on X, and I'll come back and I'll be like, we worked out our differences, but everybody will be watching, and the WAPO will be like, let's debate CanCon on election integrity, and I'll be like, what's up?
You have weird fantasies.
I'm just trying to get out of here, and I should probably just shut up and read the rants. Keith O'Higgins, I heard at P. Diddy's parties, if a girl showed up and weighed more than 148 pounds, she'd be put in a separate room and fed pizza. Her new name would be Cowabunga. Oh, dude, that's so wrong.
That didn't happen, but that's
so wrong. I gotta squeeze better.
Wait, Zach, how do you know it didn't happen? Were you at that party?
No,
I'm kidding. If we can safely say that didn't happen.
If you hear a knock at your door in the next 30 minutes, it's the FBI. Just kidding. They don't move that fast. Thomas Time 76 is hard to believe I've been in this movement for 4 years. I was told about X22 in spring of 2020. I found Zach Jordan and Praying Medic shortly thereafter. John and Badlands the next year.
Glad to have you.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
glad to have everybody.
damn right.
My wife and I voted early, Shasta County, which banned machines. Yes, they did. Place was busier than I've ever seen. I saw a poll with over 100,000 votes on X. 75% of voters were early, male, 25% election day. Fuck yeah. Pilot Bryce, dude, the Dong clip is from his rally, and he was making fun of his team for the microphone mistake. They have made in the previous 2 rallies. No screening necessary, just funny. I know, but it's like 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and we're ready to go to bed, man.
Yeah.
B1876. The game is over. The game is over. Patriots have owned the system for the last 4 years. We are at the end of the movie. Time to feel goog. Time to feel goog. Hoping I'm right. So scripted. Goog.
I'm with you 100% on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fight's beginning, but I think the era of deception and like misinformation and like fog of war is gonna be lifted.
Yeah.
All right. Namster says, in my little Texas county, Liberty, that's where the Texas county, this is the early voting tally totals. Vote cast in person for early voting, 24,464. 44.9% of registered voters have voted. Wow.
Allegedly.
50%, almost 50% in early voting. That's awesome. Keith O'Higgins, hey, Ghost. Hummer should come out with a Willie Brown version, wall-to-wall WeatherTech mats for easy cleanup. I saw something the other day that was like Kamala. No, it was the Fortnite game. And like there's this scene, like she made her own Fortnite map. And like there's this scene where these 2 guys come busting out. And like in Fortnite, when you go downhill, like you can slide. And like some characters slide and some characters slide on their knees. And the 2 characters are sliding on their knees. And I'm like, hey, look, it's Kamala. Mark voted for it. Nobody got it when I said it live. Jay, what is wrong with your lip? I hope you're okay, friend.
Me? What?
That's
My
a
lip?
soul. That's a soul patch,
dude. That's
oh shit! Right here.
That was a joke.
I thought it was herpes.
I was like, damn, I got the herp. Oh shit.
Oh my god.
He saw that Gordon is the only other Badland male without a beard, and he's like, "Yeah, I gotta grow."
This is all like this. Is all I can muster up, and it's the only part that's not gray in my beard. So that's what I'm trying to.
He ate some chocolate and he's drooling out the front of right now. All right. Did Badlands cover hopeful theorist? Did Badlands cover this previously? Saw a clip on AWK. Had to fact check. Start 5911 timestamp 10 to 15 seconds. Oh, y'all are killing me.
JB Ral. Oh, I haven't talked shit about John yet tonight. John is such a tool that he was used be God to bring us all together.
Used by
well,
God.
I'm reading it the way that it's written.
I know.
And then Wild Boar gave us a link.
We're more about the telling than the spelling here, Ash. So. We're more about the telling than the spelling.
Well, you do you, Ghost.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any more.
Okay, that's the voting machine. Wild Boar sent again. I got that. We've all like the Democrats bitching about voting machines. We've heard a million times. There's nothing new on Democrats ripping on voting machines that we have not yet heard. Let me play this real quick because I don't know what this is, but it's from his rally and they're very specific. You get 15 or 16 seconds.
Even thought the only good thing about what happened with this 4-year disaster is that the people will understand when we fix our country. They'll be much more understanding than they would have been if we just went straight ahead and did it. Because this country has never been laughed at like a bunch of dopes. It's never been laughed at like it is right now. If Kamala wins, she will take you.
Okay, that's actually pretty good.
That was pretty damn good. That was worth it.
That
was just more confirmation, right? This was all part of the plan.
Thank you for being so insistent in the chat that we listen to that.
I feel like just
sorry, Brian was such a dick to you.
What are you talking about? It was.
Let the record show that Brian is also an anarchist.
The only person that was a dick to about the thing is Wild Boar because it's something I've already seen. And we've already seen Kamala and all the Democrats bitching about election machines. That was interesting. City Girls Gone Country. I worked across the street from Cobb Energy Center, CDC, in The Walking Dead. And for weeks, I was walking around with zombies. For weeks, it was awesome.
Sweet.
That sounds pretty cool, to be honest.
I
grew up in Cobb County.
Did Greg Nicotero do your makeup?
Man, you know the makeup guy from
I know it's a deep cut. I'm a real certified geek though.
So
Damn,
my
Zach, that's
wife
impressive.
my wife and I were driving home from a wedding that we went to in North Carolina, and we stopped at the place where they filmed like most of The Walking Dead in Georgia. It starts with an SH. Do you know it, Zach?
Where they filmed
Shiloh?
Like
Georgia.
Shiloh or
Yeah,
something.
Shiloh.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
I mean,
But
Shiloh, Georgia, I'm pretty sure is a place.
we
Somebody
walked there
fact-check
and
me
like
on that, but
they have like the whole movie set like blocked off, and like you stand outside and you can see like Pleasant, like the towns that they were in. This was, I don't know, I'm not going to get into it, but it was awesome. It was awesome. Really cool place. Okay, let's keep going. I'm sorry. Salt Muncher ODA, that's a flavor saver. Jay's lip.
Oh, salt.
Pilot Bryce, I gave you the timestamps. It's 35 seconds, 140 to 30 to 215. Oh my goodness, y'all. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Start at 140.
140 to 215. Ash, keep going with the ads.
June
With
18th,
ads, with
June
ads with the Rumble
2018.
rants.
June 2018 meeting with Kim was in Singapore. DMZ was 2019 or 2029.
no, I deeply apologize to you, sir, but you're actually wrong. I'm pretty sure
Muffin.
Trump walked across the DMZ in 2018. If I'm not.
Come on, Dad. I want to go.
It was 2019. Okay, you're right. It was 2019.
Who's talking
stand
about come on,
corrected.
Dad? Oh, that's Zach with it. I'm like, am I playing weird?
Stop
All right,
listening to you guys. You're talking about North Korea.
And here's the problem.
Oh.
What?
Meme that. They're gonna
Holy
meme
crap.
that.
Wait. Do that again. Do that again.
That is the best Kamala imitation I've ever seen.
Epic.
Holy shit, Trump.
Oh man.
My man.
He's savage.
Wow.
Donald, no.
Nuts.
Oh, that was hilarious.
The GOAT. He's the GOAT, man.
It really is. All right. Wild Boar, play it.
Yes.
It's called a chingadera to Hispanics or French tickler to trailer trash.
Yeah. I'm about to shave this shit in the second I get off the air.
No, you don't need to shave it. You just need to go full bore, bro.
Just go.
like, do the
Well,
thing,
I got a week and a half. I'm Italian. I could probably grow it out. pretty
You look
good.
like you could at least grow the chin strap.
Oh, I
the
can.
handlebar.
It's just that it's so damn gray. It makes me look like 10 years older than I already am.
You got to embrace it, man. Just
All right. Well, we'll see what we'll see when we get there.
You can always get that
Get to
just for
Myrtle
men.
Beach.
All right. E1876 says this shit is too funny to be real. I really hope you're talking about the show. And I really hope you don't tell John, because then he's gonna be like, I don't know. Never mind.
Dad's gonna be mad.
No, he's gonna be like, I'm done with this shit. I leave and shit gets interesting. Totally kidding. John, don't fire me. Where's
How
the
many
cheers?
times a day do you say that?
John, don't fire me.
Every time I see him on the air.
Like probably like twice a week. Twice a week. I'm like, whatever. I don't even know where the cheers outro is, and I really like it, so I want to find
Done
it.
with rants?
Bye, Muffin.
Yeah, that's the end of rants.
Awesome.
Well, thank you guys, everybody, for watching. Please hit the thumbs up. We definitely appreciate it. Helps us out quite a bit. And also get your GART virtual tickets.
GART virtual tickets.
Badlandsmedia.tv/events.
And I look forward to seeing everyone in Myrtle Beach.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Look forward to seeing you guys.
I'll
in
see you on
Myrtle
Tuesday,
Beach.
though, right? I mean, I'll see you on Tuesday, Brian, for sure. And
Yeah.
I'll see the other
Dude.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah. Are we leaving Tuesday or Wednesday?
No, Tuesday we're going to be
dude,
doing the
that's like
election coverage,
Oh,
bro.
yes,
Like
yes.
we got
That's
we got a
right.
pretty big day happening on Tuesday. Remember?
Holy
No, we don't.
dude.
I already told you. We're only doing election stuff on Tuesday.
So we're
We're
not doing
doing
Badlands Daily?
Badlands Daily, but like we can't go off on like geopolitical.
but we're still doing Badlands Daily.
Oh fuck yeah, we are.
He's saying you only get one or two stories about Israel ghosts. You don't get the usual 5 to 7.
We'll find ways to bob and weave around that.
If you want to have the Saudis in, you got to balance.
I get so many emails about you, Gordon.
Me and Gordon texting back and forth is hilarious. I'm like, Gordon, did you know that Netanyahu just said he wants to rehash the Abraham Accords? And Gordon's like, he was never part of it to begin with. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Fuck that guy.
Yep.
All right, here we go, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching the shenanigans. And Zach, is your dog coming to Myrtle Beach?
No, she's staying home with Lisa. Yeah.
Oh man,
because we have another dog, Cisco, and then we have a cat named Smokey as well. So
we bring Cisco and Cash.
Too many, but we're she's definitely gonna be coming to Deadwood next year. I think I might have her convinced to come to Vegas too. And then obviously Cocoa Beach. I mean, that's like an hour and a half away. I mean, like we could probably get a dog-friendly hotel and bring the animals there. I could have somebody maybe come and take care of the cat.
Are we doing Cocoa Beach again?
We're doing Cocoa Beach again. Yeah.
You're gonna have same hotel, right? Are we at the same?
I think
place?
so. Yeah, I think so.
Hotel.
Yeah, both dogs and do a live muffin gate at Cocoa Beach. Man.
Can we invite Elon? Can we invite Elon?
Well, we need to call Elon and get another rocket launch so we can sit on the beach.
I might just have to get a.
And then we can make Patrick overdose on THC. That was hilarious.
Oh God,
that was so funny. Does everybody know that he did like? Never mind. All right.
He had to bring him back to life. Yeah.
Totally my fault. I'm sorry. When the dude comes and he's like, I smoke, and I'm like, okay, and he starts smoking with me. I'm like, I'll never smoke weed with CanCon again. All right, guys, we're out of here.
All right.
See ya.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. See, our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.